Yeah, so just back to what we have to do, represent Fair County. We just got our contractor new to Fair County. We still represent the city of San Antonio, as well as numerous other cities from the county and all the school districts. And the one advantage to that is that we're able to collect on behalf of all the tax counties at once through the Bear County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. Uh, we act as the liaison between the city of Sunny Oaks and the tax assessor collector's office. And we make it really easy so that everyone is getting collected. Uh, and we're able to do it one stop. And we, Leslie and I are the ones that actually go to court, go to the tax docket downtown at the Dare County District Courthouse. We're the one answering any questions the taxpayers might have, making sure everyone's getting their exemptions on deferrals, able to answer any questions the taxpayer might have. So, yes, but to answer your original question, we can represent the city.
How far delinquent does the property owner become before you contact them? A year or 2 years?
So just to go over a little bit of the process, bills go out in October of every year, and you have until February or the end of January to pay before you are considered delinquent. Our office actually doesn't get involved until July, which is the turnover date. That's the statutory turnover date. And that's when the statutory fees would attach. Between that period, you are still considered delinquent. You're still getting a penalty and interest, but it's not until the attorney's fees get added on in July. But we're able to collect however many years, go back on the tax bill. There's statute of limitations, of course, for 20 years for real property. But if you are on a tax deferral, for example, or bankruptcy, that would toll the limitation period. But so we're able to collect this on a call.
You know, then mine, I move to approve resolution 2026-275. Resolution City Council, City of Sandy Oaks, approving action required under Texas Government Code 2254 of the City of Sandy Oaks, provides written statement and finding need for specialized contingency legal services and approving a revival and essential agreement for collection to collect delinquent taxes. The Limburger of their LLP for a period to extend out through September 2029, 2030. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, 9/30.
September 20. All right. All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and Alderman McNeil to adopt resolution number 2026-265, a resolution of the City Council of the City of San Diego, Texas, approving action required under Texas Government Code 2254 for City of San Diego to provide a written statement and finding of the need for specialized contingency legal services and approving a reliable extension agreement for a contract to collect delinquent taxes with Limburger, Gravin Blair, and Sampson LLP to an extent of a period of September of 2030. Do I have any questions before we make a motion? No questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilors. Thank you.
All right. Again, the time is now 6:41. I do want to make another agenda amendment. So let's move to agenda item O. We have Ms. Bennett, Venture Soul LLC on the line to discuss or take possible action on milestone 3 go live approval under the city's website development agreement with Venture Soul LLC.
Yeah, sure. She's not online.
Not online?
No.
Okay. And we will postpone this until another day. Okay. And then lastly, let's go to agenda item J. J is in the public hearing to consider the proposed 2026 tax rate increase to support the budget for fiscal year 2027. beginning October 1st, 2026, and ending September 30th, 2027. This time provides citizens to address the mayor and council on the proposed 2026 tax rate, support the 2027 fiscal year budget, which proposed rate of not to exceed 0.560357 on each $100 valuation of property. Please limit your time to a period not to exceed 3 minutes. Time is now 6:43. We are in our public hearing. This is your opportunity to address council with any questions or they would.
Where did they come up with the
0.56.
the amount they raised?
Yeah, so it was worked backwards. So we designed basically everything that we wanted, right? All the positions, the spending to accommodate for those positions, to continue to fulfill, animal control, PD expenses, public works expenses, and so on and so forth. And that's the number that we came up with, and that's how it came up. So it was working backwards, right? We said, these are the things that we want as a city, because we feel like these are what the citizens want. And then we created the number, then we backed into the tax, or I backed into the tax rate, and that's how we came up with that. Based off of the Bear County taxable property values.
Well, I know that they have a contract with VIA and these other contracts that they have a set amount that they have to pay every month or every year or whatever. And fees, along with the bond they decided we had to have 2 years ago. So all that stuff is calculated in. How much of that is actual day-to-day usage? Not the bond repayment and all this extra stuff. How much is actual operating?
Let me make sure I understand your question. So are you referring to our bond that we passed 5 years ago? Is that what you're referring? Or because you mentioned the bond and then you mentioned VIA. I don't know if those are the same, like.
No, those are two different things.
Two different things. Okay. So let me address the VIA part, right? The VIA part is separate of what we're doing, right? So I know, and we've all discussed it before, that the VIA part is a portion of revenue that comes from the sales tax, I believe, that is sent to VIA. And that's out of our control. We don't touch that. That money doesn't come in here. That goes straight to VIA. We've looked into getting out of it, and it's
Yeah, they looked at that like 3 years ago and they said it was going to cost us some outrageous amount of money to break the contract.
Correct.
Well, we have no VIA services, but yes, we have to pay a fee
absolutely. And
to VIA.
and to that point, and I know
I'm
it's
not sure who got us into that to begin with, but
Bear County. It was via, that's it. We didn't have a choice.
yeah.
And sales tax is not.
well, that's not the way it was explained at that time. He said it was like a royalty fee that we have to pay VIA, and for so many years until it's paid off, kind of like a loan or bond.
Yeah.
That we have to pay this contract until the contract ends. And then we can get out of that contract, but we're locked into it unless we want to pay that plus penalties to end it.
And for what it's worth, and I know this is shooting in the future, right? But I foresee San Antonio really progressing further south. I think we can all see it at this point with the new, McDonald's and things like that coming up, more businesses coming out. Does that mean one for one that we're going to eventually get VIA services? Not necessarily. However, I think as San Antonio pushes further south and more citizens come down here, access to public transportation, I believe, right, in my opinion, that we will eventually have some sort of access. Now, we do have access right now in VIA Link. It's a bit of a unique service. It's certainly not a bus, right? You got to call in advance and you pay for it via an app. It's $1.30 to get you to Brook City base, right? It doesn't take you everywhere you want to go, but neither does a bus. Regardless, my point is that there is some service, a level of service here. And for the amount of money that we pay in on a yearly basis, and I don't hold me on the number because I don't remember them offhand. I believe we're profiting, right? Let's use air quotes on that. And in that we are, if more people would take advantage of the service, they would lose money on coming out here, right? So the end of that story is that if we would use the VIA Link properly, and I've used it myself, and it's not terrible, it just only gets you to certain places. We would be profiting off of the service that they provide to San Diego.
How many people in the city are even aware that they have that option?
I mean, we pushed it
I don't
out.
see it anywhere on the website.
It's, yeah. I mean, and
Yeah, a lot of
that's
people
unfortunate, right? And that's unfortunate because we pushed it out as much as we could.
So
And Via's had, info sessions in the
Yeah,
park,
yeah,
they've come in the community center.
Mhm.
Speak up.
And that's, I need to
Okay.
get connected, right? Like,
that information's not available for somebody just to look on the website and
Yeah.
know that service is available because they live here.
Yeah, we do have it on Nextdoor as well as Facebook and.
Well, everybody
the
doesn't do
website.
social media.
Is it on the city website though?
Yes, it is.
It is on the city website?
Correct. Yes, under notification. The very bottom homepage.
Going back to actual
I've never seen it. It seems
I
like
understand the
it should be an area
actual property taxes.
so that people know
Go
what
and what
services
we actually
are
have.
available for this area.
At 56
Okay.
cents, how much is interest and sinking and what's the actual M and O? What's
of
the
that,
split?
the interest in seeking would be 0.02, and the rest of it is, and I'm using rough numbers, right? So, and the rest of it would be, I don't know.
Basically 54 cents of that is actually maintenance operations, and 2 cents is that sort of.
Correct. Yes.
And the bonds you were gonna explain?
Which, okay, so going back to that question, again, was that our bond, the bond that we passed a few years ago
The city bond that they went and got to,
for the roads?
so they had to have all this money for, street improvements that we don't have.
Right, and I apologize, can you rephrase, or what was the question one more time, related to the bond?
So how much of that 0.56 is towards paying back that bond?
Right, so he asked the question, it's 0.02 of the 0.56 is going towards paying back our bond. So the rest of it is for maintenance and operation,
So a 0.3,
pays our debt service.
okay. So we're operating last year on a 0.1,
No. It was-
0.14.
it stays pretty flat, the INS rate, it doesn't change very much, right? It's the M and O rate that changes a little
We're talking
bit.
about the city operations.
Mhm.
Was at our taxes, city taxes was 0.32, I believe,
34.
34.
Mhm.
Okay, and you're saying a 0.02 of that
Yes,
was for the bond alone.
correct.
So more than half of what you were collecting went towards paying off the bond.
No.
Point
The
three four,
0.034.
0.34 minus 0.02 leaves
Oh, okay.
0.32 that's used for O and M.
Well, if it's only a
Last year.
0.02 against a 0.3, I was thinking it was a 0.034.
Gotcha.
Why the huge increase? What are we adding on to our city expenses that are increasing so much that it's gonna more than double what our tax rate is?
So great question. In my opinion, and I think everyone here is aware of it, right? In our own budgets, the cost of operating is just becoming more expensive, right? Our light bill, we have to pay the light bills, we pay for the street light bills. We have to have.
Not double. I don't believe that it's increased by double.
Yeah, and so if I could finish, right, so it's the light bills, it's the water bills, we want to add a city administrator to run day-to-day services. We recently implemented a code enforcement officer. We want to continue to have our community center partners. We want to continue to have our animal control technicians. So it's the addition of a few key positions, right? One is lieutenant. We want to continue to be able to afford that. And those positions come at a value, right? And they're very hard to obtain if you are not willing to pay for them. We're very understaffed when it comes to police. And I think the FBI average is 2.1 per 1,000 people. And we're barely operating at probably half for the amount of citizens that are in San Diego. But it's operating costs and it's people that is what's really driving the desire to increase.
What are you doing to change the fact that the only income that the city has is from property taxes? You don't have any other means for really paying tax. Everywhere else, like Ellenborg, they get a section of 1604 that they can monitor and get crossing traffic. You have to attack the residents because your limits are within Priest Road and inside this 2.4 square mile.
Yeah.
So it's strictly off of landmass. You have no throughways, you have no other way of generating income other than that little shopping center. So what are y'all doing to make it where there's an increase in the city income without penalizing the residents? Because ever since it's become a city, that's been the problem. Is everything is attack the president. The residents get all the money, rake them, all the residents for all the money you can, and then see what you got to work with.
Well, I think that's an unfair statement that we rake the residents for all their money, because if, I'm looking at a sheet here that shows we're probably one of the lowest, tax rates throughout the Bear County area.
And you
So-
want to be the highest.
Sure, and that's fair, right? That's a fair statement based off of what we provided. But then to answer your second question, what are we doing? So our revenue is primarily based off of property tax. But we do receive sales tax income, we do receive franchise fees, and we do receive sales tax, right? So, but to answer your question, right, property tax is the main feeder for the city of San Diego to maintain operation.
So in a long-term plan, what are you doing to correct that, to be able to create revenue without penalizing the residents who live here?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Who wants to live here if they're gonna get penalized for living here?
well, unfortunately, the city of San Diego is relatively landlocked, right? So we have a few opportunities to increase our scope with the Waterwood Estates and behind us and the San Diego Estates to the south of us, right? Again, to your point, it is only property tax because the majority of property here is residential. We do have a few commercial slots that I feel like can be profitable, but we're gonna need San Antonio to push more because they're gonna need to drive residents further south. Then we become a convenience and no longer are we driving to Military Drive, but we're coming to San Diego because we have, because we have a Dollar General Market or a coffee shop or what have you. But to drive more revenue here, we are relatively limited to your point. We are in communications with different types of, or at least we try to reach out to different businesses and see if it's worthwhile, but we are landlocked, right? We can only so many residents can go out to eat so many times, right? So I mean, to say, let's bring in a restaurant, let's bring in a grocery store would be great, but they couldn't survive off just the 5,000 people that live here. So,
So there's way more than 5,000 when you include all the areas.
correct, yeah, as those get sold, there'll be quite a bit more. And
Yeah, but you're talking 5 years from now.
Sure.
Okay, I think that's way too much of an increase over 1 year period of time for the residents, because that's what they have done ever since they become a city, is attack the residents for more money. They do whenever they put it into Bear County to become a city, if they wouldn't generate enough income to support it. But they did it anyway. So now they need a resolution on how to stop attacking the residents for more money and find other ways to generate income. Because that's, ever since it became a city, that's what they've done.
No, and that's fair, and I appreciate your opinion that that's what you believe. And not to say that any of us don't disagree with you, or any of us do disagree with you.
Have they proposed to Bear County, an annex, or see if you can extend the borders a little bit?
Yep. So I personally,
Or something?
yeah, I've personally gone down to San Antonio, to Commissioner's Courts, to the city of San Antonio, and asked for more, right? And they're reluctant to give it because San Antonio needs the money, right? They're dealing with their own budget deficits, as you see on the TV. So,
Right, but even if you only got them to increase it from 1604 to Hardy Road and give you that section of 37 to be able to monitor and do traffic on, it would relieve some of this constantly just looking to ticket the residents to get money.
correct.
Looking for a violation in your yard to get money. Looking for anything, your grass is too high because you're trying to get money. Instead of nitpicking the residents to the point that they don't even want to live here because of it, because you nickel and dime them to try to support a city that should have never been turned into a city. Maybe we need to look at some opportunities to increase where we can monitor and regulate with law enforcement to be able to generate income the same way Elmendorf does.
Yeah, and Mayor, one of the options I was gonna bring up in the future agenda about hiring a developer, which would cost money, so we're looking at $12,000 to $13,000 just to hire someone here to figure out what can we bring to the city that would bring income, a consultant to bring income to the city. So
That's to be a very high priority, since our biggest problem right now is not enough income to support the city. You know, you either gotta take it all of the people that live here for everything you can find to generate income through fines, or double their property taxes. Well, everybody can't afford for you to double their property taxes. I think it's wrong for them to expect they should have never turned it into a city to begin with, but that's all in the past. There's nothing can be done about that.
Is that true?
So they need to be looking at
That's
what
true.
can we do to generate income?
Do we still have to be a city? Why can't we unincorporate?
Because they got that bond, and once you get that bond, you can't dissolve the city because you have that loan.
Everything that was, I've read about 2013, 2020 student university, has not happened. I've only been here a short time. From what I read, everything that people wanted to become a city has not happened. None of it. None of it. And I lived in Money Vista. My house is living here for a lot of reasons. Okay. My taxes there are 2.65, and you want to raise this, it would be like 2.47 here. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. You just said that you're one of the lowest tax cities, because this city is one of the lowest. There's nothing here. There is nothing to pay taxes for. You don't provide anything, and that's fine. That's one of the reasons I want to live here, actually. Okay, but don't tell me that you're the lowest, tax for no reason. You don't provide anything.
But with
There's
the
no
increase, it'll
jobs.
be higher than everybody.
There's no jobs. There are very few. There's very little police, that they don't even show up. It's Bear County that shows up. So animal control is lacking, lights, streets, whatever. I mean, there's
And all those cost money,
there's
right?
right, but everybody that was here in 2008, I mean, I don't know what the heck the promises were, but none of it's happened. You know where Monte Vista is? Yeah, I mean,
Their taxes, for example, her taxes was about 15,000 last year. Just on her 2%.
I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, 100 years old.
And now you're going to go even with this.
I have 3 universities, multiple restaurants. I've got the Strip, I've got the Pearl, I've got hospitals all around me, fire department 3 streets down, city streets, sewer. You guys got nothing. Okay, so we don't want to pay taxes like that to be here. Okay,
Ridiculous.
What city was that again?
it's San Antonio. Monte Vista is an historic neighborhood in San Antonio.
So it's historic, so it's over 100 years old, probably, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Sandy Oaks is, for reference, right, 14 years old. It's hard, that's very apples to orange. But I
I don't want to
understand,
pay for
but I
that.
understand your point, right? They've got commercial, you've
You're
got
talking
$1
about
million.
raising the taxes to be the same as hers was over there.
Oh,
And
I'm
you offer nothing.
It's a great argument on paper, but when you look at it, it doesn't compare to what we're trying to
It
do.
does make sense.
We're trying
because They're
to-
making $1 million.
Yeah, it does.
We're making $1 million over there, and we're making only $2,000 in here.
And they've got,
I make less than $1,000.
Let's keep it.
and they've got resources all around them. They can walk to the store.
Sure, again, right, and that's because they've been around for 100 years, right? When Sandy
Okay, but
Oaks,
you're wanting to make our
when Sandy
taxes
Oaks has
just
been
as high
around
as
for
yours
100
are.
years,
And we don't have
we
any
will
of that.
probably have the walk to the gas station store, right?
And then we'll be paying what? $4,000 a month in tax, a year in taxes?
No. And look, don't take anything of what I'm saying as argumentative. I understand your point. I'm not trying to disprove you. I'm just saying, like, look, I also understand that example is a very gross example of, yes, we would have raised that to what they're paying over there, but to say that they're, that we are what they are is not true, right?
Exactly. That's why I shouldn't be taxed.
We shouldn't be paying the same taxes as they do.
It should be less than half, almost nothing, because there's almost nothing provided here, which is fine. That's why I wanted to live here. It's great. I agreed to that. Okay,
Yeah.
but not to this.
And that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
And also I had a question. You don't have to answer me if you don't want to. Is it, can Sandy Oaks police cars and Parks Department be in San Antonio on errands and running and doing things personally?
How do we know if it's personal?
And
Actually, let me.
that was a question.
Let me point of
I'm not
reference. Hold on.
accusing, I'm
No. But you're right. That's a good question to ask, but let me point of reference. This is related to the budget, right? And so-
Budget, is that not part of the taxes? Am I paying their gasoline? Am I paying for that car? That is part of my taxes. I want to know if those cars are allowed to be out of this city for personal reasons. With my
San
tax
San
money.
Diego's vehicles are able to exit the city for business purposes.
Only business.
Correct.
Okay, is that documented somewhere? When you leave with one of your vehicles, is it written down that you left this area and why?
Or
Because guess what?
or the
When I-
vehicles assigned to individuals.
Yeah, well,
It should be written
for the
down.
most part, they're assigned to individuals. I think the police department rotates, so.
Do they take them home?
They do not.
Okay, so is it written down where those vehicles are and who's driving them and when? And if they leave this area, that needs to be documented and put on the public website. Because
I just, if they're out on business, if they're taking the vehicle servicing, if they're out buying, training, getting their gas tank filled or whatever, they're entitled to a break and they're entitled to a.
oh, they don't
break during-
stand stand up
and
and
then-
pay the gas, it's one gas station. Why?
They go to court.
Why? So I have to pay for the gas for them to go to a cheaper gas station?
We all,
No. Yeah, we all do, but
Well-
the taxpayers are paying for that gas, isn't that right? No, they shouldn't be able to go to San Antonio to get cheaper gas.
But they're
Am I right?
They're
On my dime.
they're going to court, they're going to get their.
Okay,
cars.
but that needs to be documented where those vehicles are and why.
And who's driving?
Yes.
I mean, we have a ton of vehicles sitting out there that say City of Sandy Oaks.
Then
Who are all
it's your
those
plate
vehicles
car,
for?
your play car, okay?
I know we're paying insurance on all
We
those
didn't bring
vehicles.
the evidence,
We got
but
purchase price of all of them. Why do we have so many city vehicles if we have no city position?
They weren't in court. They weren't anywhere else, but I can't prove it now, but I tell you what, we will start proving it.
well, and
We
I'll,
will start identifying.
We've seen it.
We all want to double our taxes, then we want to know
and that's.
every
that's
one of
fair.
these vehicles.
And Mike, you know, and I'll
who's
give-
driving them all
I'll
weekend.
give you this example. My own sister has called me and said, what is San Diego doing here? And so then I call the supervisor and, hey, what's going on? Oh, yeah, they're over there because of X, Y, Z. So, I mean.
Can I do that? Can I
Yeah,
call
why-
you?
Yeah,
You gonna give me your cell phone?
it's on my card, ma'am. It's on the website.
I want
More
it,
than welcome.
because
to
I'm
take it
when I
in.
see Sandy Oaks, I'm
It's
gonna
been
call you.
there since I started. My information has always been public.
They have no business unless it's business.
Right.
And it needs to be written down and documented. And
Okay.
it needs to be, we have to print it out.
Sure.
Let's see what else? Is there a possibility of unincorporating the city? Is that legal? Is that a way to do that?
I'm looking at
I'm new to this whole,
Yeah.
small
Because of the
town
bond, it's
government
not
thing,
possible.
but why is it not possible?
Because of the bond, because they have a loan.
But we would need time to research question 7 o'clock. Agenda.
Okay. Well, it would save me the taxes, wouldn't it? And it's interesting, it's about the de minimis thing. De minimis, interesting. I had to read a lot of, because I don't understand what y'all are doing, but it means small perks given to workers, snacks, coffee, holiday gift. If de minimis is like unimportant, that's listed on here.
I think you're thinking of it, from a reimbursement standpoint. I don't believe it's the same de minimis with our tax.
It basically means like trivial. The IRS. I got the definition of that from multiple sources. I don't know what y'all need for paper and whatever, coffee and all that. I went to the federal government and guess what? They don't provide us coffee while we're working. So I hope my tax money is not paying for your coffee. Is it? That's a good question. Is a lot of tax money paying for your coffee?
De minimis
Your
is,
drink and your
the
cup?
de minimis that you're referencing is for fringe benefits. That's not. the
Are y'all-
de minimis- That's not the de minimis rate that.
Is my tax money paying for your coffee cups, your coffee and your drinks while you're here?
Yeah, we're not required to answer that.
You're not?
So this is right, public hearing. So I will tell you, we do use money, right, to buy our city workers water if they are in the park, bottles of
That's
water.
interesting.
But they- Yes,
Can we vote on that? I don't want to pay for your water. I want to pay for your fringe benefit. You're smiling and you think that's funny. It's not funny. Can we vote on that? Can that be on the agenda next time?
I don't think that's understandable.
Federal government does not pay for me to work a full-time job with benefits for drinks, food, anything. Okay? You guys should not have that. Not funny. It's, not sure what your name is.
Okay, we had 3 people who had 3 minutes apiece. Mayor, is that, are we at a 3-minute limit per
Yeah.
person?
Do we have anybody online that wants to speak to this topic?
We do have
Do
Ms. Bennett, she came back.
Okay, anybody else in the room? Wants to address?
When are they voting on this increase?
So we will vote to adopt the tax rate today, potentially. And if we do adopt a tax rate that is over the de minimis rate, then that will trigger an election. And then you, the citizens, will have the opportunity to vote on the tax rate come November.
I have a quick question, and I put it on the neighborhood app. We all probably read it, laughed at it, but I don't care. 61. I don't care. What about our citizens that are here? That if there is an absentee voting or if they're homebound, how can they vote? I mean, we have, I don't know, how many police, 2, 3? You know, for them to vote, if they can't drive, they can't walk, how can they vote? How can their vote be heard?
We have
Because,
to request a mail-in ballot from Bear County.
so they would have to call over there to bring it over here,
They'll mail it.
Milton.
and then they can mail it back.
Correct.
So, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself with the coach and ahead of the horses, but is that on the email for our citizens to know that? I'm just
Well,
saying,
that if they want to be a mail-in vote.
right,
they
I
need
mean,
help.
do they know that? Cause I didn't know that because since this is city of San Angelo, it's here of city of Sandy Oaks, I figured I'd be getting it from this location to my house, not getting it from city of San Antonio to get it back over there for the vote count.
It's actually from the county.
The county,
So you have to call Bear County and then tell them you need a mail-in voting
but that's what I'm
and
saying.
they'll send
If
it.
this is such a city, shouldn't we have the resources to call here or mail here?
Elections are held through.
As a city, we're on the county ballot. So there's things that county, things that are city, and it'll all be on one ballot on the election. So you'll go, if you were to go in person, you would go and you would vote on a ballot
Right,
that
yeah,
has multiple options and only your city's choices. Live Oak's choices will be on their ballots. Elmendorf
What I'm saying
choices
is-
will be on their ballot.
people that are homebound, that don't drive,
Call for mail.
you know, do they have that knowledge? I mean, I don't, my
The
grandson.
city portion will be on that ballot that they mail.
Okay,
It'll say Sandy Oaks and then those are the things that you can vote on, like the city council position. It'll show the options for Sandy Oaks. What's just that and then what's. Everybody in the county gets. sent to the-
Next door, Facebook, any of the other weird apps, whatever. That's not where I want my information. If you guys have money to spend on whatever, you could have put a flyer on every single, that's what I would expect. If you really wanted the citizens of this city to know what was going on, you would have put a flyer in every single mailbox. Don't tell me it's cost prohibitive. You could have made a kid to do it. You could have made the effort. You could have made sure it got out, but you wanted to keep it low. Okay, that's what you did intentionally. No one I talked to every neighbor around me, not one knew about this. Okay, we have full-time jobs, we have kids, we have chores, we got stuff. This is not our full-time job to find out what y'all are up to. Okay, so don't tell me I need to go in the city, but I will now. But like, that's not an avenue for communication. Next door, are you kidding?
I totally agree with that.
You can't be
Like,
kidding
as
me.
important as this tax increase. There should have been mail outs to every person in the city,
No one.
notifying them that you were planning on increasing the tax rate that much. And when the meetings were. I know y'all had several meetings. First I heard about it was last week.
You're supposed to be a public servant, all of you.
Not one word
No,
has
you're
been
supposed
posted
to be
anywhere.
working
Because
for
that's
us.
the way Sandy Oaks has
Do y'all
always done
live
everything.
here? Do y'all pay taxes at this place? Are y'all taxes? I'm serious.
We all live.
And I have a job and I have other responsibilities too.
And I work 50 hours a week.
It's a volunteer thing that I signed up for.
No
They're
restriction.
retired city council
But
members.
it's always been that way. City of Sandy Oaks, even back before it was a city, always
When it was
did
one-
everything under hush, 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 hush. Only certain people were notified. And
But
it's
at
always
the same
been that way.
time, the city has a website, official website, not Facebook.
And so we gotta go search down whenever there's an election coming up, whenever there's
Well,
an
every
increase.
agenda,
I wouldn't expect an increase to be months ahead of the election. I would
Every
expect to go
agenda-
see it on a ballot.
every agenda is posted before the meeting. You can take 5 minutes a week just to go see what's gonna be on the agenda. This tax piece has been on several agendas already. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And I-
well,
and I-
so it's my fault for not going and searching down the website and finding out
I'm
what
not
the
trying
agenda
to
is
point
every month.
fingers, sir. You're just saying that you don't have no way to be notified.
I'm saying the city, it's their
There is
responsibility
no way to know.
of something important like this to notify all the residents, yes.
It was in the Wilson
Saying we
County.
should add to our budget to include mailing to every
Take your
household in
copy
this
off.
town.
Take your copy off of your paper.
I'm sure there are plenty of places that are being money spent on the budget that probably don't need to be.
We did
Yeah,
mail
our
outs
budget
originally.
is
It's
on the
very
city website as
expensive.
required.
And
I'd love
I'll
to hear
go
what
look
you
at the
think we
budget
should cut.
and
That
see
would be
what's on
great.
there that I disagree with, but I'm sure it's not detailed enough to know what falls under all the categories so that we know, oh, well, so they're doing, city hall office supplies or city hall, refreshments. You know, like she was saying, so all the sodas and coffee and chips and everything that you
So
supply.
again, our city administrator stated we provided water for our public works folks and individuals that we make work outside.
He
when
said he
it's
didn't have to tell me.
And the office supplies, mailing, postage, I mean, if
How
you,
many
the mayor,
vehicles do we have out?
if you want to go look at the budget and ask for clarification, you can send the email, send an email to the mayor or call him and ask him to give additional details in any category you think isn't laid out enough. But
How much would it cost to mail out flyers once every 6 months to say, okay, we're talking about raising your budget? We're talking about raising your taxes.
It was $1,400. That was.
1,400 for one mailing?
One mailing,
I don't
$1,400.
think that's expensive at all, considering everybody.
And that's before the postage went up. I'm not sure
But that's-
what it would be now.
But that would notify everybody in the city
Everybody in the
that
city.
we're gonna increase your taxes.
We used to do a newsletter. Oh, yeah, it was before my time.
And you're talking about if it goes over a certain amount. So if it's over a certain amount, then it'll go on the ballot.
You know, there's a couple of vacancies on the council. You're welcome to apply.
But if you see that it's gonna be over that, hit that mark that it's gotta go on the ballot, if you lower it 0.5%, then you can push it through and it would never even be on the ballot, right?
No, we have, the most that we could do is a 3.5% increase. And then anything over that, then that has to go to vote.
Isn't that what you're trying to raise to 3.5%?
That's not 56 cents. 3.5% is like 35 cents, 0.35.
You
So,
want to go from 34 to 56.
right.
that's not the voter approved rate. The voter approved rate is what the mayor's saying is 3.5% more
Right.
than
So-
previously, which
so
is
there's
only
there's a couple of
30%.
things that I explained to this gentleman here earlier, before we started. Is we have our no new revenue rate, which means our revenue stayed the same from last year to this year. We have our voter approval rate, which is a 3.5% increase from last year to this year. Then we have our de minimis rate, which is the maximum that we can raise it. Okay, now we have to set a maximum tax rate to say this is what we want to do, because now we got to get involved with Bear County Appraisal District. Now we got to get involved with elections, right? So then even at today, we can still come and approve a budget that is well below that 56 cents. And well below our de minimis rate and only at the 3.5% increase, right? That's why we have to put it out there. So y'all can come and tell us that this is not what you want. This is not for nothing, right? The budget that I have prepared does not include any of that stuff, right? It's the bare bones minimum, okay? I have to reassure you that that's what we have. That's what I presented. That's what I sent out to the council 3 weeks ago after Alderman Tremblay said, hey, just do it to the maximum that we could do, which is a 3.5% increase from last year to this year. So this is exactly why we need y'all to be here.
And you can do that without having it on a ballot, correct?
Correct. And that's every city. That's every city. That's every county. They can go up to 3.5%.
And that's gonna raise it from that
No,
34 to 56.
no. That's gonna raise it from 34 to 35.
We have not adopted a tax rate.
Correct.
That's
That's
what,
why you're here, so that way we can make a decision based off of public input.
that is one proposed rate
Everybody was
with a budget that was supported. We have not voted yet. The council has not voted on setting a tax rate.
Yes, ma'am.
From my understanding,
I'll get you next, sir. I'll get you.
from my understanding, are y'all hiring more people, in the work? Because I think we have what, 2, 3 in animal control, and we only have one poor guy out there monitoring the streets, and we have 2 or 3 police officers if we're lucky.
We have,
Are we gonna double that count?
well,
or-
again, right, if we could get to anything past the 3.5%, more than likely we'd increase our staff, right? However, if it goes to the 3.5%, then likely we're gonna lose position. Because again, we've added a code enforcement officer.
The code enforcement officer is good because some of this grass, I can't even get into the main lane without the grass being 6 foot high. Neighbors behind me, their grass is past the privacy fence, which is 6 foot already. The guy behind me has 9 dogs, a duck.
The budget I proposed that we will talk about today, in fact, has cuts to our resources. So it is what it is, right? It's very expensive.
I mean, I understand safety, I get that, you know, for the neighborhood, I get that. You know, but everything else that's trimming the fat as much as possible, because not only is our taxes gonna increase here, our taxes are gonna increase in San Antonio. You know, and that's gonna come out here and affect us also, if we're part of the Bexar County, obviously. So they're gonna increase. And they're gonna do whatever they have to do.
Please try again.
What, can you tell them what positions we are going to be able to keep if we only do the 3.5% the voter approved?
Budget.
Because she's asking if we have any, if we're hiring any extra people. I don't think
So,
we're hiring.
but to
any
answer your
extra
question, if we go to the 3.5%, we will not hire anybody else. In fact, we will lose positions.
What positions are those?
An extra patrol officer, animal control technician, city administrator, the community center clerk or the community center director. And then we won't create a new position for a deputy court clerk. So 5 positions, and a public works employee will be cut as well.
And kennel
Well,
tech.
we need the
I
cop.
called it.
Well, don't speak, don't get it.
But yes, sir. Did you have a question?
We have, how many cop cars out there? We only have so many cops. Why did we add another new patrol car on top of our stuff? And why are they just nitpicking at every little person? And me personally, I've only seen y'all out here since this meeting, before like a week before this meeting. Haven't seen y'all do anything before. When I feel unsafe, I've had to call Bear County. Yes, the dispatch is to Bear County. But if I want for my safety or whatever, I want Sandy Osacker. That's what Sandy Oaks is for.
Sure.
It's not for Bear County stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, it's an in-depth decision, right? That I don't,
And if we hire all these people, what are they doing?
yeah.
Why are they not out?
Yeah, so with the limited resources that we do have, we can only work so many hours. So even if we had 3 or 4 on staff right now, we tend to have them double, right? So meaning they're working the same shift for backup purposes. That also means that if they work 10 to 10, 11 o'clock, you're not gonna get the San Diego PD, right? You're gonna get Bear County. And that's the agreement that we have with Bear County, is to back us up in the times that we're not able to provide hours. Now, if you had to call PD and they didn't show up, you know, that's unfortunate because we would love to, really, we would, but there could be many reasons, right? They could have been off, they could have been on another call, because even if we had 24-hour service, right? When you call, they may be on another call, right? And so a Bear County sheriff would still have to show up, right? It's a very,
But it's not just
It's a very what if situation and we can go down all the what ifs. No, and I get it.
live here.
I get it, I get it. To answer your question about the vehicles, right? I mean, vehicles go down all the time. They're running constantly. They go, I mean, you can shake your head no, but I mean, the reality is that the logistics of it are that they're mechanical vehicles, they're gonna break down. And when we have one that goes down, we need to be able to jump into another one and not have,
Y'all
not
have
lose
plenty
any.
of them to jump into them.
These vehicles, we do
You don't
not
need
have
brand
20.
new.
We have a code enforcement, we have a public works, we have, 3 or 4 police patrol vehicles,
So we
so
got 3 or 4, public work vehicles.
we have
You got
two.
a
We
brand
have
new
2.
code enforcement vehicle.
It's not brand new.
We buy used vehicles.
Yeah, all our vehicles, with the exception to the F-250, was used or county donated. So I mean, I understand your point. I'm not trying to argue or disprove or anything like that. But every one of those vehicles was purchased for a certain reason, whether it was cost affordable or it was a donation or whatever it may be. The only vehicle that we purchased was the F-250, and that was through what's called ARPA money. That was when COVID was around, the federal government gave us some money. It was for the interest of the public that we have a vehicle that can get into the wooded area if we need to maintain the park or whatnot. But there's 2 or 3 other trucks that were donated. The animal control patty, a big one, that was donated. I personally called the county, wrote them a letter and said, we need this vehicle for our animal control. Right? I'm not just spending money willy-nilly. Right? You can believe what you want, right? Trust me, I was on that same side because I sat over there when we were passing the bond 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So I get it, right? I live down the street, guys. I know she asked, do you even live in San Diego? This is gonna raise my taxes too. I live down the street. You can find my address. It's public information. Moved here 7 or 8 years ago. Moved my family here from the south side of Richmond. So I mean, don't feel like I don't connect with you in some way, shape, or form.
What does our animal control do?
You wanna go walk back there, man? We will gladly take volunteers. We've got a ton of dogs. In fact, I was just on an email chain where they were asking us, do you have dogs that we can move? We send dogs to Canada. We spay and neuter cats. We spay and neuter dogs. Give them rabies shots. We do a lot, and we have a TNR program. So I mean, to say what do they do? I get why you're asking the question, but I need you to become more informed because we do a ton for that.
I was told not.
And again, and that's fine. And if you're told that, that's fine. I get it. But by all means, fill out a liability form and let's get you to volunteer because you'll see we have a full.
I volunteer enough state.
Good, good. All right, back to the public hearing for budgets and taxing. Anybody else? Do we have anybody online that wants to speak to?
No,
Okay.
not that we know.
All right, then at 7:25, we will go ahead and close the public hearing. Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on to agenda item 3, citizens to be heard. People wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner indicated above. This time is provided for the citizens to address the city council on issues and concerns related to the city of San Diego. Please note that the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the city council from responding, commenting, or discussing items, topics during each portion of the meeting that are not included on the agenda. City council appreciates hearing from the citizens and your thoughts and questions are valued. However, civility and a sense of decorum be strictly followed. All speakers must address their comments to the city council. Speakers shall refrain from public criticism of members of the city council as prohibited by law. This item will be open for up to 30 minutes and 3 minutes to each speaker. One person may speak on behalf of a group. Up to 3 people may register on behalf of the group, with a spokesperson to be allotted up to 9 minutes to speak. If there are more than 10 speakers, each will be given 2 minutes or 6 minutes for a group spokesperson. So at this time, I think are you Susan, right? You said?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said what I needed to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
so
need me to do it again.
it's up to you, but this time we can't address you, right? So you say what you want to say, but we can't answer you during this portion.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, yeah. Good for me.
And I don't want to cut you out. If you're good, you're good. If not, I mean, you're more than welcome to take your time.
No, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. And you said you, yourself, Scott and Hayden, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Just let me make sure. All right, I have Mr. John Cole.
I thought it was the sign.
Oh, if you don't have nothing, I mean, it's up to you. Mr. Cole, you want to say something?
I know the name. Sorry.
We moved out here in '87. I moved out here, again, and get out of the city. And long-term handful of them, off the city with them, and wanted to make a city out of it. And the people were too lazy to get out and vote. They incorporated the city. That's the reason, I guarantee you, over half the people here wish you didn't have a city. Because I can see these pickups out here, I don't know what y'all do with them. But you got 2 or 3, you gotta hire drivers for them, workers. So that, to me, is a waste, you know, and they, as far as I know, one thing for me, with our taxes, we pay, and we paying a bunch on county. I mean, almost $3,000 a year, just Bear County alone, you know. Now, y'all were 600 folks, started off at 400. We started off at 0, then it went to 400, now it's 600, now you want 800. When's it gonna stop?
Yeah, that was your good point.
Oh,
You're good.
I didn't know I was going to lose.
Security too. Well, yeah, that's fun, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cole. We appreciate you. But, and then I have, again, is it Rachel? That's you. Okay. So did you want to take a moment as well?
No, I mean, it's like everywhere and everybody, I mean, everything keeps going up, but the money coming in goes down.
I understand. All right. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Cole. Okay. So that will then close the citizens to be heard. Mayor and administrator announcements. Let's see here. For Amy, election candidate filing ends August 17th at 5 p.m. So to everybody here, we have open positions, mine included. So if you want to put your application in, let's see the city secretary, maybe first thing tomorrow morning, and just let you get your information down. Dr. Johnson, do you have anything to add to that?
No, sir.
Filing ends on the 17th.
On the 17th at 5 p.m. So what is that, Monday?
Yes.
No.
Yes, sir.
Money.
I have my application in my backpack. I'm gonna turn it in. Monday. Moving on, development block grant program approved for $656,500 for the Restless Deer reconstruction project. That is a grant that we've applied for, the city of San Diego applied for, that I've lobbied for with our county commissioners to reconstruct the Restless Deer street. Our engineer took a survey of roads, kind of graded them from 1 to 4, worst to best. Unfortunately, we got a lot of worst. Selected Restless Deer to be reconstructed, and we want a grant through the county CDBG program. So probably in the next 6 to 9 months, we should start seeing construction take place. Dr. Johnson, you got anything to add?
No, hopefully it'll be done by November 2027. There's a 7-phase approach, which should be starting. For the council, I did the agreement in your file, but hopefully we can get that signed and move forward with our city engineer and have it completed by November next year.
And what's that cost the city?
$65,000. We have a 10% match.
The engineer.
How much is the grant for?
Unfortunately, we can't answer your questions, but we can always answer it.
The engineer has completed all the necessary.
No.
Oh, that's what those documents are?
Yeah, that's the phase that he's gonna go through. So right now, he's gotta go to the geological survey and do all that stuff. Do the write-up, and then it'll go open up.
And his cost comes out of that.
Anything else to add to that one, Dr. Johnson?
No, sir.
And let's move along. Updates K through towing agreement and municipal court judge RFQ and disposition surplus and salvage of the 2017 Chevy Tahoe. Dr. Johnson?
If they're for K3 towing, the agreement have not been signed yet due to the fact that company have not found a storage unit within the city of Broward County. So that's on hold. Haven't signed that. He should be getting back with me. Fred should be getting back with me next week. If not, we'll look at someone else, the same people who served the city of Elmendorf. we can look at to putting out the RFP again, extending the RFP to look at getting someone else. As far as the judge, that RFP has been completed and I hope to bring back on the next council meeting. RFQ for the disposition of the police unit with the engine, the radios have to be removed from that one, after which we can look at how much we can get from it and move forward. If you get any questions, that's all I have.
We'll get you strip it down.
Yes, sir. All the removing the radios.
So you're gonna bring back the judge as to review? Is that what you're saying? So it's not going out yet? You're bringing it back?
Yes, ma'am. One final review.
Any questions? Let's move along to the consent agenda. Matter within the consent agenda is considered routine by the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks. And will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. The discussion is desired that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered acceptable.
I see on the consent agenda.
No, there's only 5A and 5B. A is the meeting minutes and B is the resolution.
Can you pull the agenda item B? Like to discuss this.
Regular city council.
No, we need to pull that. I was just checking the change. We need to pull A, the change I requested now.
I have a motion.
Or.
All right. Motion.
Okay, so for 5A, I'm looking at item 9D under the administrative new business. It says that I made a motion. I move to adopt a resolution amending resolution number 2024-200 purchase card policy. There is no resolution that I adopted for that. I believe our discussion at that point in time was to make 2 exceptions to the policy to make it easier for animal control to obtain the veterinarian services that they required. But it wasn't, there was no resolution that was adopted.
Was it the only issue there?
Yes, I think John, Alderman Crickner is trying to look up.
5C. Oviedo said water was passed dry, all lanes resolved, as nose closed. Not sure if that's exactly correct.
I believe our that discussion point was that all of the items from the initial citations last year have been resolved because there was additional discussion. So I think maybe if it just said that. Well, it just says no action taken, informational update provided. So that statement is accurate. The thing that's on the agenda is incorrect. Is what your concern is, and we can change those agenda item. No action was taken as a result of, informational update provided.
Any pretty agenda says amended or do you make their way? So.
You want to make a motion to amend based off of your comment, or Mayor Pro Tem, do you want to make a motion to amend the minutes based off of your comments?
So, well, I don't want to approve based on my amendment unless I know that, Donna understands what I was saying in terms of that item.
Right now or like earlier
So that's my,
through the email.
yeah, because it wasn't a resolution.
Yeah. I understand. Just.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
it
just
wasn't a
haven't back the
resolution, it was
recorder.
two items.
Yeah.
So then I would move to approve the meeting minutes from the 23rd of July with the update to item 9D to indicate that wasn't a resolution amending, it was two exceptions to the purchase part of policy.
So I have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman McNeil, so it's approved the minutes with the motion that, or with the update to that there wasn't a resolution, but in fact there was an exception to the policy. Okay,
Two exceptions.
two
Yeah,
exceptions. Two exceptions to the policy. You have a motion, I do have a second. Are there any questions?
No, thank you. Yeah, this, I know that's been, for me, it's a big deal to get the minutes out. See what's going on.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed. That motion will carry. My only question on agenda item B was that, should we wait for this guy until after Monday?
You need to call the election by Monday. So this is the last meeting to call the election. So it's just calling the election
Yeah.
on the, this is that the other now.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to call an election and we don't have. But
Yes, you have to call the
But you
election.
gotta,
Once the candidates file, there's no filings, you can later cancel the election.
Okay.
Okay.
that was, because that's cost to it, so I want to make sure. All right, so then I'm fine with you.
Well, then I move to adopt resolution number 2026-261, a resolution of the City Council of the City of San Diego, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on November 3rd for the purpose of electing the mayor, Alderman Place 2, and Alderman Place 4, and ordering a special election to be held on November 3rd, 2026 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 3, unexpired term.
I got a motion by our Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman Walker to approve resolution of the City Council of the City of San Diego, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on November 3rd, 2026 for the purpose of electing the mayor, Alderman Place 2, Alderman Place 4, and ordering a special election to be held on November 3rd, 2026 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 3 and unexpired term. Are there any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion will carry. Okay, moving right along, agenda item 6A, animal control updates and announcements and presentation of the monthly report with possible discussion and interaction presented by animal control officer. Ashley, you do have the floor with your updates and announcements, and then we'll address your report.
Good evening, council. So for last month, we didn't do any, citations. We had a lot of dogs that we picked up. We were already full from the previous month and we moved some dogs around where it would fit more dogs. But a lot of them are housed outside right now. I know that having that many dogs is stressful. Right now, as of today, we have 19 dogs in the and we have 7 dogs that are being fostered at a hoarding case. The dogs are, the lady contacted me and asked us for assistance with the dogs. We can't take them in right now. A lot of them are waiting on transport. So we do have dogs planning to leave, but it's just that weird limbo in between them actually leaving and getting everything ready. We did have 3 dogs this week get adopted. We had, well, one got transferred out to Austin Pets Alive. One got adopted to a gentleman in Floresville, and another one got adopted to a lady in Medina. She met us while we were at SA Humane and adopted the next day. So that is good news. We did have 3 leave, but like I said, we still have 19. So we had 22 dogs there.
Related to the to the hoarding case, right? She said hoarding,
Yes,
or,
it's a hoarding case.
right. I did have somebody reach out who just said, I was dealing with Ashley Animal Control yesterday, and I want to reach out from the bottom of my heart and thank you personally for everything. All the aid and references, man, so very thankful. Just wanted to throw that out there. Kudos.
So you said you have some that are waiting transport, or is that okay with the screw worm stuff going on? You've got all that taken care of?
Yeah, so we did get a grant for $5,000. The grant is specifically for medication only, or medical testing related to screwworm, such as if they have a wound and it's got maggots in it, then they need to be checked. Or, any dog that comes in with a open wound, we would give the required medication. Medication's not cheap. Fortunately, it's probably $40 per pill, $30 to $40 per pill. So,
How many doses are required?
it's just one.
Just one.
Yeah, it's a monthly pill. And then the Capstar, we give that as well, or the Fidelia. But those are the only 3 FDA approved medications to treat. So right now, luckily, we haven't had any issues. We've been giving everyone the Capstar that we already had. Or we're giving them medication when we're at the vet if they're traveling. So if they're not traveling, we're kind of holding off to see where they're gonna go. Because if they're going to Austin Pets Alive, all they need is the Capstar. If they're going to Canada, they're gonna need that. So we're kind of thinking right here. About 2 weeks worth just to try and get slow. Let's see, the Petco Love did get we did sit down and read the whole entire packet. It was me, Cassandra, the chief, and the culinary, and we all sat down and read that. Made sure that we all understood it, and it's kind of going to be a little bit difficult. It's not something that I would want to do on an every week basis, but it is an option if for whatever reason Scrum shuts us down and we're not able to adopt dogs. We can go there and we can set up that option. It requires all dogs to be spayed or neutered, up to date on their vaccinations. They have to be free from worms, and you have to have a test stating that they're free from worms. So that it's going to be a little bit more costly on our end to be able to post it. So hopefully, yeah. At the end of July, on the 31st is when I did this report. We only had 12 dogs in the facility. So we went from 12 to 19 physically in our shelter, and then we have 7 medically. Well, we had 22 times the 3 that left. So we did pick up quite a few dogs. We had several litters of puppies come in. Please, if you need spay and neuter resources, there's a lot of people here. If you need spay and neuter resources, we can get you spay and neuter resources. We can get you signed up for $30. So if you have a dog that is not fixed, please see me, call me. My card is out in the lobby, and we can help you get an appointment for your dog to get fixed. Other than that, I don't really have.
How many animals were euthanized last month?
We didn't have any euthanized. Almost all of our dogs are 90% or above are being live released. We did receive an award from Best
Friends.
Best Friends, thank you. We received an award from Best Friends Animal Society for being a no-kill animal shelter. No-kill does not mean that we do not euthanize. No-kill means that 90% of our animals are live released, which is very, very good for such a small shelter.
And being a no-kill gives you certain benefits.
Yes,
such
being
as-
no-kill gives us the ability to get grants, the ability to participate in things like Petco Love. And work with Austin Pets Alive to get dogs out. So just so everyone's aware of that, we did receive an award for that. I don't know if y'all are able to see in your here, but I did make a list of all the vets that we are using and how much it would cost if we went to one specific vet. It would more than triple the prices of what we've gotten the dog prices down to.
But you have a recommendation that was provided previously, like this vet's the best one to go to for this, and this vet. And I think that might be a better approach, but we have to get that on the agenda as a discussion item so we can talk about it. And that's what I would recommend you bring to the city administrator.
Yeah, so like the way in your list is spay, neuter, right, this is spay, neuter, DAP. So spay, this one, neuter, that one, DAP, this one. Okay, that's kind of what you heard.
That'll help us make an informed decision. We don't have to go with one, but if we need the best one for each in order to save the city as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then other than that, I don't think I have anything.
Any questions?
That is more for you and the city account. I'm assuming that 5K grant will be added to our budget and the funding will be tracked separately to ensure that we're accountable for how we're spending that grant on
Correct.
all this funding.
Yeah, in fact, we were talking last night.
That quickly.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night, or yesterday, the day before. We're gonna have to, when we close out the calendar year budget, we're gonna have to add 2 line items and, debit and credit. So that we can track it, and then we'll have to add it to the current budget.
Yeah, there's some other adjustments you need to do for the to round out the year too, so just,
And it'll carry over so that we can continue to
yeah,
monitor.
and then actually it'll just try to make sure, but I don't think it's gonna last long with the expenses that you got.
We've already done, I want to say 23 cats. Out of the 100 for the TNR.
Well, that's another thing that needs on the budget that needs to be tracked carefully, because when that's done.
I think that is a line item.
Yeah, it's already on there, absolutely, but yeah, maybe she can get them to give it to us again. We'll see. So that helps with our community cats, the PNR program, because there's a lot of folks that see the pregnant cats in the neighborhood and just can't afford to do anything. And those that are spending their own money to do something. So if we can provide that through the grant, because the city can't afford to pay for it, but the grants that help track it, so we can tell them when we run out and show them that we can use it.
And it is very helpful, but it is a lot of running. If they do see us outside the city, that's what we're doing. We're taking animals to the vet. We're taking them to, I know that was a concern. We are taking them to the vet. We're taking them to get spayed, neutered, and we go all different locations just so that we save the city as much money as possible. So that when I say ask for resources, there's many different places you can go that will save you money. And we try to follow that as well on our end here. Just trying to find the cheapest place to go. The TNR program, if anybody does want to participate in that, please call, or again, you can text, email, and we can get you signed up for that. If you have feral cats in your area, we cannot take them in. They will be released back where you found them, but we can get them fixed so that.
We provide traps, too, right?
Yes, there's a deposit. You pay for the deposit. You borrow the trap. Once the trap is returned, you get your deposit back. We do not charge you anything.
Questions?
Okay, I'll have to speak with you after.
Okay.
Any other questions for animal control? All right, guys, we're gonna close this one out. Thank you, Ashley, for your help. Max, move on with it. Moving along to agenda item 6B, code enforcement officer, update the announcements and presentation of the monthly report, we talk for discussion and action. So if you just want to give us your updates, we have your report in front of us.
Successful.
Yes, council, how you doing?
So
You have my updates there, Brian. So a total, all, inspections for last month were a total of 87, which, out of the 87, 27 were brand new. So we have a total of 34, violations before we go. 37 citations were given out at each citation. We have overgrown grass with 21, junk vehicles of 4, out of cycle, which is bulky, and, brush, were 4, installing skirtings for maintenance, 4 as well. And all 87 were re-inspected. So, on that, pretty much that's for our numbers for last month. On that, just keeping going forward, trying to educate the public that there is a code enforcement out there and we do have ordinances. Just trying to get more information out for the public to understand that we're out there and hopefully then we can keep them informed that we're be looking at property maintenance and the health of the neighbors and the health of themselves as well.
The two questions. One, when you say total inspections conducted, is that just while you're driving around, you see a property that you think needs to be inspected because you believe there's a violation?
Right, this is proactive or proactive, like, all this or one, call in or they'll call straight to me and let me know. That's why glad we have a property that, I have a neighbor, blah, 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 and we go out there and look at it to make sure it's following its ordinances. So on that, that's pretty much what it's gonna be.
And is your report posted on the police department website?
Yes, more likely it is.
Not at this time. No, it's not.
Not at this time.
With the new website, that's something we can.
The new website, yes,
Yeah.
we need that. So they can see what our code enforcement is doing. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, George.
Well, thank you. Good day.
All right, moving right along to item C, community center updates, announcements, and presentation with comment, discussion, interaction. And Dr. Johnson, you have a report?
Dotair, the schedule is on in your files. Let me know if you have any questions.
Is this posted on the city's website?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because there is, the Friday activity is missing on here. I pointed that out to the ladies when I was over at the community center the other day. They've added it to the calendar at the community center. So, and I asked them to make sure that next time they provide a digital copy, it includes the Friday activity.
Okay, sure will.
If there are no more questions, let's move on. Minutes, the court updates, announcements, and presentation of the monthly report, possible discussion, interaction presented by Court Clerk Fernandez, Dr. Johnson.
So, yeah, yep. So 90 cases this month. We had only 21 people showed up. The total collected $10,002.40. Any questions? All I have.
What is the 2025 number reference?
$13,065.
I understand the number, but why are we looking at 2025?
Oh, it's just a reference to show the increases of cases as well as
Last year, this year?
The changes, but he doesn't have the case file or appearance dockets listed for July. Was there no new cases and appearance dockets for 2025?
I'm sure there was.
He just doesn't have, it wasn't recorded.
Yes, no.
And when it says new case files, does that mean like the citations that have been issued?
Correct. So 90 citations been issued, but only 21 people showed up.
Okay. Well, some of the new cases filed could have been a speeding ticket someone got and they paid though, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So there was 90 citations issued by Code Enforcement, Police Department, Animal Control.
Yeah.
And of those, 21 ended up in court in July.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
And this is posted on the website?
It is not.
The new
It's something we have to get on the, yes, ma'am.
No other questions, let's move along. Park Advisory Committee updates, announcements of possible discussion, interaction presented by Alderman Crickler. Alderman Crickler, you have the floor.
The Tom Rapino Park Advisory Committee met Tuesday, August 4th at 5 p.m. at the Sandy Oaks Community Center on Hickory Haven. Meeting began at 5. There were 5 people in attendance. There were
9 issues. And, let's see. One of them is the community center sign is in the process of being designed. Gloria Sarmiento is gonna work on that. The school lunch program, it has ended. The supplemental lunch program. The Putt Bridge was repaired. And, the exercise area, they're still working on getting the medium for the substrate for that. Raylan Rogers was on PTO and she's back. And Via does come to the park, pick up people when they call in advance to make an appointment. It takes them to the Brooks Via Center. Next, Tom Rapino Park Advisory Committee meeting scheduled for 5 p.m. Tuesday, September 1st. At Sandy Oaks Community Center in Tom Rapino Park. 4451 Hickory Haven Drive, Sandy Oaks, Texas. And the meeting was adjourned at 5:15 p.m. Any questions? Yes.
What is the issue with the contract law?
Well,
Lack of response.
yeah,
We give it in Linda.
I think we need to step it up with him.
Have we paid him anything?
Yes, we
Yes.
did pay the first half, yes.
I'm not sure what to. I might need to discuss it with our attorney.
All right, let's regroup on that one. We'll talk tomorrow.
So I believe previously we approved multiple committee members for the Park Advisory Committee, and I'm seeing a limited number of attendees listed. The ordinance that established this also indicated that if someone missed a certain number of meetings, they'd be removed from the committee.
Yes,
Have you been doing that?
Yes.
And if so, have you decreased the number to the point where we as a council need to find and appoint new members to support your committee?
it's me, Gloria, and Debbie Ayers. That was it.
Right, but can you go back and look at the ordinance and find out if we need to readdress this at the council to get more people to support the committee to ensure we're in compliance with what our ordinance states?
Did we? Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure the city needed to appoint people. I thought it was just a voluntary.
They volunteer, yes, but we as a committee, as a council usually go and do it. And I don't recall exactly what the council said, what the ordinance says, but it's been a while since I looked at it, but there is a process.
Okay. I wasn't on council then.
No, sir, you weren't.
All right, there are no other further questions. We will then close this out. All right, moving on to agenda item F, Police Department updates, announcements, and presentation of the monthly report, possible discussion or action presented by Chief Alvarez. Sir, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. So total calls of service was 172. Sandy Oaks responded to 41. Bear County responded to 131. There were a total of 3 arrests. 10 additional cases closed. 2 submitted to the district attorney's office and 2 closed by the district attorney's office. There was a total of 3 arrests. So.
So is the number of the distribution of calls between Bear County and Sandy Oaks, has that been about stable where we've been at since we lost some of our officers?
Yes, ma'am. We were about 25%. So.
I think you're going 1 for 1 with them.
At one point,
At
yes.
one point, when we were full staff, we were doing well. And I noticed there's a DOA on this one too. So we have another one this month,
This past month, yes, ma'am.
or yeah, in July. No foul play suspected on this
No.
one, just a DOA.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you indicate how many cases have been submitted to the DA. Do you happen to know how many cases we've already submitted so far this year that are still pending and open, that we're still waiting for the DA to resolve?
No, ma'am. I don't have those numbers.
But is that something that you can find out and add to the report? Because
Yes, ma'am.
it would be useful for us to see, like, how many things are we waiting for the DA to prosecute for us, for all these cases, because there's a number in that box every
Yes, ma'am.
month. You're giving them more,
Yeah,
more work. So how many are we waiting for them to get closed would be a good. Right now, we're equal. You submitted 2 and they closed 2, but
Yes,
what's the
ma'am.
backlog that they're still working for?
yeah, unfortunately, but right now, everybody's shorthanded from the district attorney's office to all law enforcement across the state. So it's tough all around for everyone.
No one wants to walk around in all that armor when it's 100 degrees outside.
They're also showing 52 cases closed for the year, it's the same numbers.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
kudos to there. I'm just curious, the high number for Bear County, would you say that majority of those calls are at night?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would, we, if it's not at night, it's when we're shorthanded and short-staffed, we don't have anyone here. And it's unfortunate for us, for the city and the citizens here that we're so short-staffed.
What is information report? Information report?
So it could be like, they heard a noise outside and they're gonna go show up and they're gonna just take an information report that, someone called in, or, maybe they suspect something's going on down the road or something.
Like suspicious person or something like.
Yes, sir. It could be a number of things.
Those cases that Bear County responds to, they have to file a report for every call that they make, correct?
Correct. They'll have to document what on their end.
Do you at any time review those or pull 1 or 2 and tell them, see what they're about? Do you have that ability?
Yes, and we're limited to the amount of information we're able to see on the CAD, on the actual dispatch notes. There has been times where we are cross-referencing cases when they're more serious cases. We'll contact the detectives, or the detectives will contact us as well. So we're sharing that kind of information across the board.
Some of these cases, some of the cases, if you put in a review, you might find that this is this address gets a lot of calls, they get a lot of calls. Something you just might be aware. Guys, keep an eye on that.
We could, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from the chief? We'll close that out. Thank you, chief, for your time, sir. We will skip public works, as public works is no longer here today, so agenda item 16. All right, we kind of want to hop around to agenda item 7B, excuse me. Discussion of possible action on the ordinance conducting the 2027 fiscal year budget beginning October 1st, 2026. And ending September 20th, 2027 for the city of San Diego, a record order postponed adopted of the fiscal year 2027 budget to an date. We have a crowd here, so that's what like I said.
That's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's 8:06 PM. We're going to discuss agenda item 7B. I did send a recent budget to the group earlier this morning.
Right.
We're getting some assumption.
I guess all sorry, but I stated in the last meeting, I would not support a 56.
And the budget they sent is not.
Right, and I'm just saying that I had previously stated that I would support that. I will support a voter approved rate that would allow us to increase tax at the highest rate, but without the referendum. That's pretty much what my standing is. Still, I will support the voter approved rate. And whatever that support within the budget.
In terms of this agenda item, the budget itself, I'm not comfortable voting on the budget at all without seeing an actual full accounting of how much money we've spent to date of the current year's budget, so we can use that to evaluate how we should distribute whatever our approved tax rate is across all of our line items. To date, I still don't have a comfortable feeling that we're accurately documenting how the city is spending our money across the line items. So I think I would rather have that before I make a decision on what the budget is.
I looked at the budget versus the actuals that. We can't. We're saying to September, but we're really not at that point. But just looking at this point, I see just what has been underspent, not including the police department, because I feel that the most important part of our budget should be the police department, and I think that's what the citizens want. Is more police protection. And I mean, and I'm seeing $47,000 that's available that has not been spent. According to this, although I'm sure there's more than $47,000 in over budget that has been spent. So this really doesn't reflect. It's not balanced, in other words. So
That's why I'm asking.
so it's hard to say. Regardless of how this ends up, I don't see in here. I don't see what there's no carryover. I don't see a carryover on here. Yeah, so I don't we don't know what that is. But yeah, we do need more police. We need to hire more people. We need a kennel tech. We need those functions. We need to supply them. But I know that we can't do them based on the income that we're receiving currently, what we've done. We know that because we're borrowing from people. Look at the budget. I mean, we've taken here, taken there, and that's basically what this reflects. But the maximum that I'm saying that I would.
Not talking tax rate, we're talking the budget.
I know, but the budget would have that rate would have to support whatever budget we can.
Right, and I'm not comfortable passing this budget of any type right now without knowing what we've actually spent. And a prime example, we have overspent for public works uniforms and we have spent zero for animal control uniforms. But both of those have a line item in the new budget. So where did that money really go? What should we be budgeting for next year? I don't know until everything is properly accounted for. And that's fine if everyone else is comfortable passing a budget based on how we've done the accounting to date. But without knowing what money has been spent where, how can we accurately predict how much money we need for each of the line items next year in order to get this? Because the budget the mayor's given us is cutting a patrol officer, it's cutting the kennel tech, it's cutting the community center employee, it's cutting all these things. So I can't make any suggestions on how to move funds anywhere off of inaccurate accounting. I wouldn't be adjusting my budget at home if it had this kind of inaccuracy, because I look at this and I'd say, well, animal control doesn't need that $1,500 for uniforms. Let's take it and see what we can do with it somewhere else. But it can't do that because it's not accurately accounted in this year's budget.
We have a date, or is like we have to call an election by the 17th. The council seats. Or is a going to referendum on it?
We're not talking tax increase. They're two different things.
I'm just saying, we have to.
But we're talking budget now.
I understand that.
Go beyond the voter approval rate today is the day, to adopt any rate over the voter.
So it has to be done today.
So
The budget doesn't have to be done.
The tax rate.
The tax, but we're not talking tax rate. I'm telling you, I'm talking tax rate, but I won't vote on the budget.
The budget needs to be adopted. Tax rate.
Yeah.
You can't vote on the tax rate budget.
Oh, wow.
Right, I mean, one.
Interesting.
I mean, the reality is that we're only gonna receive X amount of money, right? $940,369.03 based off of the 3.5% increase. That's it. All right, now where money lands here or there, that could all be disputed after the fact, right? We can close out this year's budget and say, okay, based off of what we see now, let's go ahead and adjust this and adjust that.
What's that number again? 940?
940, 369.03. That's based off of M and O and road bond.
That would be. With the maximum.
Correct.
And so what did we bring in last year?
They have some of those?
I'm not that.
Yeah, not, I mean. 900 and some odd thousand, I couldn't tell you. But that number is not gonna change, right? What could change is sales tax, fines and fees, permit fees, right, franchise fees. That all can change, right? But today, right, there's no getting around M and O and the road bond INS tax. How we spend the dollars cost wise, right, can all be disputed at a separate date. In my opinion. But yes, to answer your point, right, we do lose a public work, we do lose a patrol person, we do lose a kennel tech, right, we do lose codification, we do lose.
You're cutting the city administrator, patrol officer, a public works employee, a community center employee, the kennel tech, the mayor and council expenses, which is fine, and then the codification services. Those are all the things that you're removing from the budget.
We can add those back, right?
Even with the 3.5%,
Even with the 3.5%.
because everything's more expensive.
Everything's more expensive. The police department has services that they pay annually now, right, for different subscriptions. When they do have more officers, they do require more supplies, they do require more training, right? Our biggest expense is police. Right.
Sure. And we need them.
We do. I don't
But
disagree.
we're cutting one.
Yeah.
But then, again, this part can be debated afterwards. We cut the lieutenant, right? Take $50,000, $60,000 of that, put it to another patrol. And then now we got our patrols back in stock, right? We don't have a lieutenant, but it's what it is, right? But we're gonna continue to pay people aggressively, which we need to have top tier talent. We're gonna have to cut something. And again, those can be discussed afterwards, right? At least that's my thought. And yes, once we do close out the current year budget, then we'll have a true understanding of where we can slice and dice.
Yeah, but I find it frustrating that I've been asking multiple times for an accurate reflection of how we're spending money across the line items and we're not getting that. I mean, I'd like to know where's the money really being spent, overspent, underspent, and we're not getting that.
I think we could make small progress, incremental progress in that too. Getting a little better. We can do more, correct, but
Well, the bottom line is we have. And call another meeting. So. Budget based. Not recent, we'll have to build a budget based on that 3.5%.
yeah.
That's why it's fucking with you.
You don't have. One number should be grand.
Yeah, that's what we have in the folder.
The one I sent out of 2 weeks ago, that's the 3.5.
I believe the email's in your folder, in your.
Yes. So I sent out 7:31, but I also resent you on a new budget, this afternoon, 12:30.
Oh,
Yeah. Pick out some assumptions. Use the county. Based on the voter approval rate.
Yeah, the voter.
The minimum is the higher.
But when are we gonna get the accurate account so we can make some recommendations or suggestions on how to move this up?
Work to have it to the next one, to the next meeting. But then again, it's still a month off, right? The revenues are revenue, right? That's, and I get it. Where are we gonna slice it and dice it on the expense side? That's all debatable. But
yeah,
yeah,
again, you don't have a carry. But you got the 940, but you still don't have, you still don't have carry.
$100,000.
No, it's.
So the budget?
Show the count already.
Oh, that's a new one. It should be 9,000.
You carry over.
Yeah. We can split it 50 from prior year and 50 from general fund. I think that's what it's about to look at.
But if we vote and say we approve this budget, it means that we approve how you divvy the funding out among every one of these line items. And that
And
we,
Yeah, that'll be adjusted. Yeah, X amount of dollars.
And the voter approve rate.
right, the voter approve rate will support this, but that's fine, but I'm not comfortable saying I agree with the way the mayor decided to
And again, it's gonna be
distribute the fund. But saying yes to this budget says I agree with the way he distributed.
we amend this, but this.
Yeah, I mean, that's anything that you're vote on.
We have to vote, yeah.
What is yours?
I know. And anything can be amended, but the vote of yes means I agree with cutting the police officer.
Or no? But yeah,
No, it doesn't say for now. It says I agree
It
with your
does.
decision to cut this.
correct.
And then
And then
I have to hope that it comes back for an amendment later. And 2 other council members agree with me that we need to find a way to get another policeman on. Once I vote yes, that's my record. I agree, cut that officer.
That's the never ending
Well, then-
struggle to get more police.
And I know it's not the only issue, right? But if that is your only issue. Plus your lieutenant. Backfill, pay for that role. Then you got $40,000 to put somewhere else. Right? You can make amendments to this budget. If that's the biggest concern.
Was this budget provided to the citizens or was it only that the one that was published in the Wilson County News last month, the one that was provided to them? Because a lot of the folks that spoke today said they don't see enough police officers. They don't see the police force out there enough doing their job and making them feel safe. So having a police officer that's out there.
It's counterintuitive.
patrol
Yeah.
can counteract what the citizens sat here and told us today.
I agree. So again, we can make that change right now, right? We can say, I get it. The lieutenant's not gonna be on patrol. That's the reality of it, right? They should be indoors working on cases, right? The patrolman is the one that has the public eye.
But the lieutenant's the one that's doing the investigation. investigating all the crimes that we have in town.
If we have the deadline, I'm going to do. That's 280. Get rid of all.
This voice vote,
Hang on. What was the question? Sandra?
Oh, the ordinance is based on the original proposed budget. So that's, if there are changes to that, then those changes need to be. That is completely with the 56, property. That is what this ordinance.
This is it.
So yeah, this is a completely different budget compared to what we originally put out.
So any amendments can change visual to that.
This budget supporting the board of approval rate. This budget.
The ordinance supports the proposed tax rate, which is 56.357. Any amendments to the proposed budget that was originally filed by the mayor need to be made to the proposed budget.
When you say filed by the mayor, you mean the one that was published?
So, yeah, the one that's been.
Because the one that was published wasn't voted on the 56. The one that was published was based on the 63 cents that the mayor had originally brought that.
Okay, so any changes need to be made.
The budget that was made public.
And then you take the tax, you get the tax rate from those.
Yeah, so we have to start with that original budget that the mayor provided to us that was published in the Wilson County News.
The ordinance.
Right, but the one that was made available to the citizens was the one with the mayor's 63 cents.
63.
Yes, that's right. Because the 56 was the highest we voted on last time. But that wasn't the budget that was 56 cents wasn't published. The one that we gave to the citizens to look at, to come here and discuss with us, had 63 cents, I believe, is where we started at. So we have to go to that budget and make the changes as needed to turn it into the budget that supports the 3.5%.
we have to do that now.
You need to make it at the meeting adopting the budget amendments. And you can do like a blanket motion.
Isn't that this? Because I have the, no, I did that.
But you need to go with the budget that was originally filed.
Well, they published in the newspaper.
Right.
And the budget will need to be adopted with or without amendments. Without amendments is the way it's filed. With amendments are amendments to get to that rate.
So what's the motion then to?
The council needs to go through the originally filed budget and amendments
To the dollars?
Line items.
to the line item.
To take it from that published in the newspaper budget.
But can you just make it a blanket, we're gonna change, M&O, right, M&O and INS from this to this?
Someone can make a blanket motion. Well, all the lines.
Yeah, it's completely different.
So it could be one blanket motion where one council member is going through the budget saying, I make a motion to change. I don't control this, I'm just go. If there's a general. One of the council just agreed with something that we can hold. That has to be both. That's only if the tax rate will exceed the voter approval. The tax rate will not exceed 35 cents. If I 6, then that does not need to be done tonight. We only need to adopt the budget on the tax rate provided.
What's our deadline if we're gonna stick with that voter approved rate?
September 29th.
Okay, so we have time. We're gonna stick with the voter approved rate to sit down and figure this out, but we still, no matter what, have to come back and make a motion line by line. It can be one solid motion, change this line from this to this line to this, but we need that motion read, starting with the published budget that was published in the newspaper to the budget that we want right now, and do a line by line, a motion to change everything line by line. but it can wait because we want to stick with the 3.5, the 3.5% increase, the voter approved rate. So it's not as urgent.
It was only because the election deadline is Monday.
Correct.
That you would have to, you do need to call an election, and the council doesn't need to call an election if it's not above the de minimis rate. If it's below the de minimis rate, you do not need to call an election, but you still need to vote on the tax rate tonight to get citizens the opportunity. If it's the voter approval rate, it doesn't exceed that rate, then the budget and the tax rate. And then
So
latest possible dates.
move to discuss the action on the adopting budget of August 28th.
All right, so I got a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Alderman McNeil to postpone the adoption of the fiscal year budget beginning October 1st, 2026 and September and ending September 30th, 2027 for the city of San Diego by record vote.
Just one question before we do the record. Doing this bill means that we are going to go with the 3.5%.
Correct.
The voter approved tax rate, period.
It just means you're not going to exceed.
We're not going to exceed this. We're not going to exceed the 3.5%. That voter approved rate or less is what we're going to come out with the budget approved on the 27th.
So we cannot go past 0.356390.
Thanks.
All right. So I think I read the motion and had a second. All those, do I need to do this by record vote?
Not the possible.
Not just on record. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that motion will carry.
The next meeting, August 27th.
Let's talk around now. Let's figure it out what you're reading.
And take our cards, reach out to us.
Are they out here?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So then, what does that mean for agenda item C? Okay, so let me get a motion to.
All the legs under the first one, come on.
Yeah,
Move to postpone action on ratifying the fiscal year 2027 till 27 August.
Second.
got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Madero to postpone discussing our possible action on ordinance ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the 2027 fiscal year budget of October 1st, 2026 and ending September 30th, 2027 until the August 27th meeting. For those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nothing. Motion.
And just on the tax rate, we just may need to have. Bring it either way. It needs to be like another public thing on the agenda. Change.
And that public notice can be published the new budget. Let's see if you want that one, so you don't have to do all.
I think it's planning, you know.
When you're looking into that, that would limit the number of motion.
Yeah,
Line items we need to change.
Well, can we do it from the top level? Right, so saying our total revenue is X, Y, and
Why don't we
Z,
give her time to look into that and give them.
but I'm just giving her an idea, right, and our expenses are X, Y, and Z.
It may require a budget hearing.
Yeah.
Timing wise, there's.
We don't need to vote on it, so. It was a little more fun.
Then it's now 8:31. Move to agenda item 7A,
We also have this spending on the line.
financial report on income and expenses for June 2023, possible discussion and action. Secretary, then we do have you have the floor.
All right, we are just going over the questions that Mayor Pro Tem had when I was gone on vacation. And I passed out some sheets showing why certain things were paid and questions that she had on some of the postings. The one item that was brought up on we'll start with the city of San Diego and cons pay. That was, it's on June 6th. I think it was June 6th. I can't see. I highlighted it. It said June 6th or June 5th. June 6th or June 5th.
It's June 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I couldn't see whether the red, the job. Okay, that one should have been moved to Sterling. It was Sterling Veterinary. That's the vet that usually, euthanizes the dogs. And the city of Sandy Oak means that that's abbreviation for the city of Sandy Oaks, but KS does not fit in that line. So it's actually just abbreviated. And then the con means that it's a consumer payment, meaning it was an ACH payment, but it's a consumer vendor payment. And that's why the word con stands out. Does that kind of explain that?
Yes,
to you?
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then on the June 3rd, which is the Commerce Bank, it says Commerce Bank, but it's our credit card. That one and the one on June 18th, that one says Center Suite Frost credit card. That's the same credit card. She just put two different names on it. I don't know why she did, but she fixed it. So she's just gonna she didn't tell me which one she was gonna keep, but that's the credit card. And the reason that there's two payments, it shows two payments in 1 month. It's because our monthly bill comes half and half. I've been trying to tell them that we want it from the 1st to the 30th, because this is really hard trying to balance, trying to make it work, because I always have to go to two statements. And it catches, if you see the ending period was 6/2, and then the other one, the second one were for the 5,021. That one's ended up in July 7th. So, July 1st. So it should be two different payments. One should have been May and June, and the other one should be June and July. So there'll be another payment in July as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions y'all might have?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
On June 17th, you wrote a check, and the payee is the Frost Bank checking account. So I'm wondering why we're writing a check for $339 to the checking account from the checking account.
What?
June 17th,
June 17th?
it says type of expense is a check. Payee is Frost Bank checking account. The amount is $339.54.
Well, I didn't see that one, but that one, it's actually coming from the checking account. So I have this, that's weird that it doesn't even have a number as well, because
It doesn't have a check number, but it says it's a check. And you're
I
giving
wonder, I can go look real quick and
well-
pull it. And because,
Continue with your questions. If you got more, I'll pull up the bank right now.
yeah, because
I think they might have told me. Who is GHS?
of the collections, the collections for the court.
Yep, collection. And then, on June 26th, you made two payments to, Casan and Ortiz. But both of those payments exceed the amount that was approved at the previous, city council meeting. So I was wondering why you paid more than we approved.
Oh, that one's a prosecutor and one's the legal? Yeah, but, yeah,
So why did you exceed the approved payment?
one of them might have been one of the invoices prior that was approved prior.
No, because that's listed above on June 12th, where you paid the invoice from previous.
What was it? $5,665?
$5,665 is what you paid, but that is not what we approved.
Oh,
That was not what was on the invoice that we approved at the previous.
I'll have to go and check that out.
And then
But
also,
that was the amount on the invoice, but we didn't approve it.
no, that is more than the amount, as well as the $670. It's more than the amount that was on the invoice that we approved.
I wonder
at the
where
previous meeting.
those invoices came from.
Invoice number 1404 for 5,600. That was approved at the May 28th meeting. 1405 or 145,640 was approved at the June 25th meeting.
Yeah, and the payment she made was $5,665, which is
Okay,
more.
I'll have to check. That's what I had as, that was paid.
She's got it listed here as 5665, and then the second payment she has listed to the prosecutor as $670.
Oh, you know what? I bet you 10 to 1 that might have, okay, I need to explain this because I've been talking to the mayor about this. QuickBooks is not changing when I change to GL accounts, that might be a CPS bill, city public service bill. But when it comes through the automatic payment deal, it doesn't change it. And I've changed it several
But they're
times.
very close to the amount we approved for her.
I know, but CPS
So-
had a couple of them that were pretty close to hers.
Okay, but then you didn't pay her the amount we approved yet. So maybe you made those payments in July and we haven't received that yet. But again, it's more than we approved. So that was my question
Yeah.
on those two. And then also on June 24th, we have a deposit and all it says is returned item, $9,592.52. What did we return? That was $9,000.
That was, what was it?
So 339.54 was the analysis fee for Prospect, but it's from Prospect to Prospect.
What does that mean?
The analysis fee is what they charge for.
They
all the
charge for-
services that we utilize.
What was
in the
it?
account.
So basically it's a bank.
Yes.
Okay. Can we record that as a bank fee or do we not have an option to change that? It just makes it more clear.
Yeah, I think we have a bank fee line
It's-
item.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then the 9,592.52 was an internal transfer, not sure why.
It says a returned item.
No, I know, but it's sitting in, I can see this exact amount in the secondary account that we have. 9,592.52. So that's something that she needs to research with manual. Because it's sitting in the account, I'm looking at it right now. I think I sent some information to that one stuff, I believe. Nonetheless, it's sitting in the account. As to why it shows like that, I have no idea. Can confirm that it's in the secondary bank account.
Any more questions?
No, but I'd still like to know. Exceeding the payments to the city attorney, what is that actually supposed to be? And the,
What,
And
what was that amount?
Which one?
625?
605,006. I can't see so.
$5,665 and $670.
Yep, so I do see an invoice, May 15th for $5,625 for the prosecutor.
That's this one up.
Yeah, but we paid
That's
that
one.
earlier. The May invoice was paid at the beginning of June.
This one,
And
I
then
think
on
was
June,
another.
in our June.
Oh, you know what? This
Second
is-
June
this
meeting,
is-
we approved two invoices,
this is
which
July.
were about $30 less
Look
than
in
each of those amounts.
Look at her. That might be your,
I'd rather you not, Mike. I need you to be. So if you need time, you need to just ask for it. Because assuming it's not there.
So demo will be out tomorrow. Can we get that back to you, Mayor Pro Tem, by next week?
Just bring it back to the next council meeting, because I'm not
Okay.
willing,
Oh, yeah.
unless everybody else wants to approve it, I'm not willing to approve it until I know what we're spending this money on, and it doesn't sound like we know for sure. It looks like some of it might be changed, and also where this $9,000 deposit came from that's listed as a returned item.
okay.
Unless someone's gonna make a motion to pass it, I would just recommend it, request that you bring it back to the council as a whole.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Credit card statement.
Yes, that was her explanation for the fact that we have to make 2 credit card payments each month. Which she explained why we have the 2 payments going.
Okay, there are no further questions. We'll just postpone this to the next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on
Yeah.
to.
We have, he said that we have,
Oh, Ms. Bennett.
Venture LLC online. We covered that item earlier, but she wasn't available.
I think, oh, yes.
Okay, it's now 8:42. We're gonna discuss agenda item O, discuss and take possible action on milestone 3, go live approval under the city's website development agreement and Venture Solar LLC. Dr. Johnson, you want to do?
Let's unmute her.
We're not, she's got to unmute herself.
Yes.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Oh.
speakers.
Is there an echo that you guys hear? I hear it on my end.
Ready?
Yeah, we'll kill this.
I don't know. I thought to full time.
Hello?
Yeah, we're trying to resolve it.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
It's not letting me.
Because you got this on, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Just click on the speaker. Well, minimize this.
Okay, hold on. There we go. I got it over here. Oops, I get over there.
That should go back to.
Okay, all right. You back on now? Okay. Miss Bennett?
Yes,
You hear us?
I can hear you.
You're talking.
Can you guys hear me all right now?
Speakers or the-
Should have muted our microphone, not our speakers.
Oh. I know, but she's green now. So let me look over here.
Yeah, so you need to mute the microphones on the computer.
Settings.
Turn the microphone off.
Okay. Miss Bennett, can you hear
Hi,
us?
is this better?
Okay, hold on. Take the microphone.
We have to turn off our microphone. She's talking.
Miss Bennett,
Yes, I'm here.
there you go. We got it.
We good to go?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Might have been on my end as well. I just decided to call in, so I'm accessing it from my phone. Let me know if there's any more glitching issues that you guys hear. I'll correct.
No, go ahead. And now what happened to her?
Drop again.
I
No,
know.
she's still right there. But she's muted.
She's muted, but what
Can you
she
hear-
said she did. Now I can hear you. Are you
Sorry.
okay?
Yes, I began speaking without muting this time. My apologies. Good evening, all. I just kind of wanted to, I know this is turned into a bit of probably a lengthy session for you all tonight, so I will do my best to keep it brief. I want to give you guys an update pertaining to where we're at with the site, as well as go live and what that would look like. So we've been through about 3 full rounds of the punch list reviews with the city staff at this point. The most recent one being at the end of July, based on the latest feedback from the office, city staff. So everything that's come back to us at this juncture, like we've addressed, there's a quick note that pertaining to the conversations that you guys have been in about PDF accessibility that has come up. The site itself is fully ADA and WCAG compliant today. That part's done, right? PDFs are also within our scope as far as it's fully integrated within our scope to deliver. And that's not something the city needs a separate third-party vendor or external party to fixate on to address that matter. If you guys would like me to go into detail as far as how we address that, I can. But at this time, like I mentioned, approval for go live that matters at this juncture, because any small update as they're continuing to come in, I think I've at this point, there's about four more that I've seen on my end and have submitted to the team. Posting a document, a page change, it at this time has to come through us first. So once we're live, staff can make those changes themselves. You guys can do it at needed whenever you need to without waiting on us for the routine items. So there will be always, those small update requests after launch. That's just normal and it's expected as well. And it's not a sign, right, that's anything wrong. But if we continue to wait until requests stop coming in completely, we'll never launch because that point, in essence, just doesn't come. So as far as go live, that would just look like something that we can set up next week, right? Staff training would be also something that we can schedule within like the next few weeks or so after that, whatever or whoever may need to be on those calls or, whatever your preferred method of conducting those calls would be, whether that be through Zooms, Teams, or a phone call. But it's pretty simple as far as the recorded videos that we would have as well to submit to you all for training. On the technical side of things, we've already gotten things moving. We're handling the DNS record updates ourselves, of course. So once that's in place, we'll apply the security certificate and the site goes live fully. So there's nothing really else the city needs to do on that end as we continue to kind of close everything else out. And I'll mute at this time for any questions or feedback.
Can you tell us the process for the WCAG compliant for PDF?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please? Turn you up. What was that?
Can you go through your process for the WCAG compliance for PDFs?
Yeah, so we monitor documents on an ongoing basis, which is it's also outlined in part within the agreement as far as the continuous monitoring aspect of ADA compliance. So it's not just a one-time check. There's the human eligibility as well, that factor, as well as our artificial intelligence tool for that. So every new document that we publish from here forward, in essence, goes out accessible from day one. There's policies and procedures that we would create for you all. And for what's already on the site, we work through it by priority, right? So say you guys are a small municipality. So starting with what residents actually utilize most, right? So any forms, any agendas, that kind of thing. You may have heard of, you guys have been in conversation with services that package this up into like a paid subscription of sorts. That's one way to do it, but that's not the only way to skin a cat. We have our developers and even myself included as far as the experience needed to go ahead and inundate what's necessary as we continue to roll out as your technology partner.
So it's your recommendation that we go live and then any other updates are made by staff?
I'm sorry, I did not get that. Sounds a bit hazy on my end. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah. So is it your recommendation that we go live and then any other edits need to be made by staff? We do it that way?
Yes, it is my recommendation. And of course, we will be here as well. So our maintenance at this point, even after go live, would be ensuring that the site remains secure. Any other updates that may be a bit more complex that staff may not be able to do, we're here for that too. But I just want to be able to give you all, in essence, the keys, I would say, to the city so that you guys can update appropriately.
And you're gonna schedule that training sometime in the next couple of weeks through the city administrator to ensure we're able to receive that training on how to do those updates. And two, you're going to record that training so those of us on city council can also view it later since we work during the day.
Yes, precisely. Is the training something that I know every few weeks for council, you guys have your approval process, excuse me. So is that something that I can just orchestrate with him or would we need to wait till the next council meeting to kind of acquiesce from there as far as scheduling goes.
The city administrator would plan that out directly because he's the one that manages the staff and they're the key ones that need to do the training. They're going to be doing most of the updates to the website. It's just some of the city council members want to attend. There's no need for us to approve the training. You just coordinate directly with the city administrator so he can make sure the key employees that would be doing the most get the training as soon as possible.
Okay, copy that. Yeah, we can definitely get that moving. Once we initiate the process of go live, we can start this, as early as next week. I know tomorrow's Friday, so staff concerns and things of that nature. But as early as Monday, I can pull Dr. Johnson or whoever else is in this specific aspect of the process closer, and we'll move forward in that capacity, as well as scheduling training for staff and providing you guys the resources, of course, moving forward.
Now, I noticed that all the permits, the permits are out there on that site and there's a form, there's ability for people to populate the forms to do that. I didn't go through the process and that's why I'm asking this question, but once they populated that form, what happens then? Do they print it? Are they prompted to pay whatever fees are associated with it? What happens once they populate that permit form?
Yes. So yes, they populate the permit form. It sends them a notification on their end, as well as a receipt of sorts or proof of the application going to the designated department. And then we're still waiting, which I'll get in tune with Dr. Johnson as well. I mentioned as far as the stripes being connected specifically to the departments that are assigned. We need to go in and integrate those forms appropriately, so the fees are I'm sorry, we just have to integrate Stripe at this time as well, once you guys are situated on your end with the department Stripe payment forms, and then it's green to go. Like, it's really just kind of seamless in that regard. Like, the residents will log in, fill out their application, you guys get alerts, they get the proof or the alert on their end, and the payment is all the way through the sales cycle.
So now our citizens do not need to come into City Hall in order to file, for example, a fence permit. They can fill it out and pay for it all remotely, and both the city and the citizen will have evidence that this has been done and the completed form.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I just have, and it's really,
Well,
it's not a big thing, but there's 3 photos on the open website. Surely none of them reflect anything about the city. Did we get those photos, maybe a photo of the island where it says Sandy Oaks, that's the Sandy Oaks sign up here in the front, or the community center, the shops, something that is Sandy Oaks.
Mhm.
And none of these pictures reflect what Sandy Oaks is.
Yes, sir. I can take some pictures here. Alderman Walker, do you happen to have any pictures? You do? Okay, if you could.
So that's something you'll be able to.
Yes, sir, I will. Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're saying replace this picture of the field with all the trees with a picture of the Sandy Oak sign at the beginning of at the entrance.
Lake out of there.
Oh, is that what that is? Yeah, so a picture of the Sandy Oak sign at the beginning at the entrance to town would probably be far better.
Exactly.
I would agree with them.
Something other than that street there.
But that shouldn't stop us from building.
And it's.
So- be
able to make those changes, edits and additions.
Yeah, so I would move that we authorize the city administrator to go forward with providing these updated photos to Venture LLC to change that main page, move forward with scheduling the training for sometime in the next week or two, and to go live next week with the website with the Sandy Hooks on the front page instead of screen.
That's a motion, I second it.
And that's to pay them as well.
I believe that was approved last.
No,
the
there,
third.
I believe the third payment is after the go live, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's not after go live. It's actually after everyone has been onboarded, trained, and we're fully green to go. as far as the
Okay,
site
we
and
go
the
live.
understanding.
And then we want to get the training done in the next couple weeks so that we can go back. I mean, pay her that last week.
About second week, second meeting. in
So then,
September.
I have a motion
Make it eight.
by the mayor pro tem. Not who the second was. Was it
Alderman
Tremblay.
Second by Alderman Tremblay. To move forward with milestone 3, go live approval, to schedule training. To have, Dr. Johnson take some photos and to go live under the city's website development agreement with Venture Soul LLC. Any discussion? Not all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, that motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Bennett.
Thank you, Miss Bennett.
Thank you all. We'll remain in tune. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Let's go to. I think.
Seven C, no?
No, seven to B and C have both been postponed, so hopefully we move on to A.
Oh. All right, so then I think at this time, on agenda item 8A, discussion of possible action on appointment, employment duties, discipline, or dismissal of animal control officer Ashley Cunningham. 8A, discuss and or possible action on appointment, employment duties, discipline, or dismissal of city secretary Delma Doyle. And discuss and or possible action on the appointment, employment duty, discipline, and dismissal of public works director Priscilla Schmidt. I believe, and discuss and or take possible action on a resolution approving a leave of absence of Alderwoman CJ Walker. I believe we should redirect to our executive.
Wait, two more.
Two more? Almost two more?
Next two. B and
Oh,
O.
yeah, okay, so discuss and or possible action on the hiring of the city administrator. And discuss and or possible action on hiring of information technology contractor. The technology level.
Eight first.
Who's that guy? Yeah, F can wait for the purpose of that one. But let's run through agenda items A through E. In executive session. To deliberate the appointment, employment duties, discipline, and dismissal of animal officer Ashley Cunningham. To government code 551.074. Same thing.
So wait, a minute, how come you're talking about hiring a city administrator but not the information technology? We're talking about B.
That's the contract. All for employees.
Oh, okay, very good. Oh, that's cool.
Executive session for Delma Doyle. Pursuant to government code 551.074, executive session for Priscilla Smith, pursuant to government code section 551.074. And executive session for Alderwoman CJ Walker. Pursuant to government code section 551.071, consultations with the attorney. And executive session deliberating possible action on hiring city administrator. Pursuant to government code section 551.074. So then it is now 9 o'clock. We are in executive session. Okay, time is now
Mm-mm.
9:45. Are in session. Okay. So then. Let's start with. So the action on the appointment, employee duty, discipline, or dismissal of animal control officer applicant.
Hey, thanks me to make this motion. Discussion. Due to the severity of the two offenses and on the advice of the Texas Female Risk Pool. It's the road, reduction. Rank from ACO supervisor to ACO deputy. They do the. And also a reduction in pay by a doctor. Also, one more.
You have a motion, do I have a second? All right, you have a motion by Alderman McNeil and a second by Alderwoman Walker. In relation to Ashley Cunningham, there is a reduction or a demotion to ACO deputy, a reduction in pay of $1.50, and a written reprimand to be in the permanent file. Pardon? Okay, so I do have a motion, I do have a second. Yes.
Nowhere in the policy down in the does it state what we were to do in cases like that? And I was instructed by the previous chief, not Chief Lawrence, but Lopez, that is what we were supposed to do in cases where they were too decayed to put into. I've been here for 3 years and no one ever told me. Don't feel like that's fair to demote me and take my pay on something that I was instructed to do. And there's nowhere in ordinance that states anything about what to do with the dog in that state.
I reviewed body cam footage and your statement to those that were there was that you were going to take the dog or contact Bluebonnet Trim Club. You understand that was the right decision. And so somewhere between then, where we don't see you anymore, the decision was made to bury the dog.
Yes, because it was skin was sloughing off.
Yes.
And it was too decayed for me to put it in the freezer to hold for Bluebonnet Crematory. The freezer is not big enough to hold a dog like that.
Understood.
And so it was like, what do we do with it? You can't keep, I mean, am I supposed to just put it in the backyard and then we come the next day?
That's what you originally said.
Do we bury
And
it?
that's what they did. We excavated the animal and.
But they were there that morning to take it. It wasn't left exposed, you know.
It could have been done the same day, right? So when you picked up the dog,
But on my defense, I did not know that. I did not know that it could be done.
even though you recorded saying
We could.
we're gonna call Bluebonnet Crematory.
But I did not know we could put that date. I was gonna-
Fixed freezer or not, we could have held on to.
In hindsight, I believe we could have, but at that time, I was doing what I had previously been instructed to do with the dog in that state. So.
Very hard for me on this piece. Because the initial discussion from about, say it is, we were talking termination. All of us know you value to the city and the hard work you do. So, but we still gotta shield our.
Out pay or something other than devote me with my money, money.
Motion still
stands
up here, amended it. That's something the council thinks to still be able to keep liability off the city and off of each of our plates too, because just got email that Texas involved in it now, so it's.
But it was the dog and it was also the medication, right? That are making this a bigger issue. Right? Where an animal was taken to the vet and multiple prescription drugs were purchased for it, but then those prescription drugs were disseminated amongst the other animals. So the two items, right, that would help us that cause us to make a decision are both federal with them. Illegal dumping and disseminating federally mandated drugs, right? Prescription drugs. One, you cannot be dumping a dog into the park. That's illegal. And two, you cannot be giving out prescription drugs to other dogs. It's the same thing as humans. So those are the two that cause us to make a decision. in advice of the Texas TML risk pool, they did recommend termination. So
They didn't recommend termination. They said it was
Well,
fireable.
it is a fireable effect, correct, that they don't make recommendations.
Each one individual.
Each one individually is a fireable effect. So it's not to say that, well, this is the lesser of the offense or the lesser of the decision, but because the council does value and does want you here. That's why they decided to do that, because otherwise termination was on the agenda. You make a valid point, right? And we can get you some training. However, that's a decision that should not have been made.
There was no policy or procedure in place.
But burying a dog in the park is not, it's not a serious procedure.
I mean, I understand that it's the wrong thing to do. I understand that you're saying you should not have done that. But if I had been told, this is what we do with dogs in the state.
But at this point, that person's not here to where we can ask. So this could be,
And
you
the other
just make-
person
you
that
just say-
advised me on that resigned their position. So. How am I supposed to? How am I supposed to? defend that? That's something that I was instructed. I understand that you have to discipline me, but taking away my pay is gonna be very detrimental. As a. And it's gonna be a permanent detrimental.
Your pay was based on the fact that you were a supervisor.
I understand.
those are decisions that supervisors should know right from wrong.
But if I was told to do that. I thought I was doing the right thing. If I had been instructed
And-
by by a superior, this is what we do in this situation. And it's not like I'm burying every dog in the park. That was. Most of the dogs go into the freezer. It's not an everyday occurrence that somebody doesn't want to bury their own dog. And tells me straight up on the phone, no, I'm not doing it, you deal with it, and hangs up on me. And then we're sitting there going, what do we do?
And in relation to the prescription drug, again, fireable offense, right? So even if you didn't have great direction, right? The person's no longer here to provide that claim that they did tell you that. So we can't prove that, right? And I get it. So from your perspective, I understand. But the drugs as well, right? The prescription drugs that were passed out to other dogs, you're not able to make that decision. You're not a veterinarian, you're not a pharmacist. That's a decision that cannot. So that and along with the dog, which is why they made the decision to do so of a demotion.
I mean, this is the first time I've ever been in trouble. Something that I didn't even know was something I could get in trouble for. Change your.
Well,
To defend me.
I do have a motion on the floor. Let me go ahead and take a vote. So again, I do have a motion from Alderman McNeil and a second from Alderwoman Walker in relation to Animal Control Officer Ashley Cunningham to demote to ACO deputy and a reduction in pay of $1.50 and a written reprimand. Are there any other questions from the council?
Should we rethink? We do the suspension of the affairs, it's.
That would be executive session, but let's take the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Opposed. The motion will carry 4-1. Move on to agenda item B. Discussing a possible action on employment duty, discipline, or dismissal of the city secretary, Delma Doyle.
No action, that was information.
Right, so we will skip agenda item C. Relevant. Item D, discuss and take possible action on a resolution improving a leave of absence of Alderwoman CJ Walker. Moving on to agenda item E, discussion of possible action on hiring of a city administrator.
No action.
Agenda item F, discussion of possible action on hiring an information technology contractor. Dr. Johnson, you want to take this one?
Or Mayor, yes, or Mayor Pro Tem.
So as you know, we're trying to find an IT person because the employees are looking for someone to fill the gap that Jerry has left due to his lack of responsiveness. So we conducted 4 interviews. There are pros and cons associated with each of the 4, but was it 4? Yeah, but we wanted to present the information to the city council so that you guys can make an informed decision. Again, the goal is to hire someone to do IT for the city. For example, when we have a new election, we got to turn over the laptops, the phones, someone to take care of the cameras that we have around the place. When we get a new computer for the court clerk, someone to set that up, those kind of skills. And it'll be hourly based, part-time, not to exceed $1,500 a year. So we interviewed 3 individuals and 1 corporation that provided their proposal as well. And all of the resumes and the proposal was in the packet. So I'll start with the corporation. Corporation sounds great, 24/7 help desk support call, but again, only police needs 24/7. What we're paying for with them is we're paying for them to install 2 software programs on our computers, monitor and be available to help when we call. The original quote has a certain call every time they come out. They said that they could go back to the CEO and waive that. If we wanted multiple things, the more than 1 or 2 devices updated or improved, there'd be a project fee for that. So there are other fees that come in with that. And just monitoring the software alone is $1,275 a month. Whether or not some of that's flexible, again, we don't know all the details on how flexible it is. Plus, there's a fee to pull out. They did say they waived the fee to set up the systems, which was $2,200. So that's good there too. But again, great help desk support, but it would cost for them to do a lot of one-on-one stuff. Then there's the Chris Gutierrez. Yes, you recognize that name because his wife was here.
Chris Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, yeah. Okay, sorry. Thank you. This individual has a full-time job used to work in my office, actually. Now he works up on the 4th floor and it's gift. He says he teleworks. He says that he can take time off to come in when needed and he could be on call. But again, my concern is I'm not very reachable during the day due to my hours working for the federal government. He works as a government contractor. He would be taking this on as an additional job because based on some of the stuff his wife had told him, he thinks that he could do some stuff to help us. He does have, I think, lots of experience with IT stuff. But my concern would be about reachability, whether or not the employees could actually get a hold of them when they needed them. And he is a single individual. He's not a company, so it would be only him. And what would we do if we couldn't get a hold of him? The city administrator did ask, hey, had you considered setting up an LLC? And he's like, yeah, he's thought about that kind of, but not really interested in doing that at this time. So that was Chris. And then there's Elliot Lamboy. So this is a retired nurse that got into AI. So he's done a lot of cool things by making scripts and programming AI to do things. The one he kept referencing was the ability to have a new user log in and run a script to connect to the network printers. He seemed to be a little lacking in experience in actually managing IT, because again, his big background in the military had been as a nurse, and then he moved into the AI side of the house. He is it's an LLC he runs, right?
Yes,
He has an LLC, so he did have a partnership with others who would be able to provide some backup and stuff. But we weren't comfortable with his IT experience that he had. And then the last one, and I didn't write down what Felipe's last name was. Hernandez. So this guy is available Monday through Friday after 1500. So he's available by phone from 8 to 3. And the reason why is he used to work for USAA, and now he's gone off and started his own business where this is the services he provides. And he works for the school district, ISD. And he also works, there's another major project that he took on. And that major project, he just built out a timeline. And over the next 6 months, he's going to be busy with them from 8 to 3. So we're going to be secondary to him. He did indicate that he'd be able to respond to any phone calls or text messages within 30 minutes or so. But that he wouldn't be available in person on a regular basis until 3 o'clock afterwards. He did say during initial setup, he could probably come in some during the day to try and help get us the lay of the land and stuff. So again, pros or cons across the board. I believe the mayor has actually met with Felipe Hernandez, and then if Dr. Johnson has anything he wants to add to any of those pros and cons for each, neither's really a perfect fit, but they'd all be better to reach, easier to reach than Jerry.
What's the hourly rate for?
Yes, the hourly rate was $25 an hour, I think it is, not to exceed 60. I have the ad right here. Oh, no, it's not. It doesn't give us a-
Yes, it is. It was a.
Here's the budget. It's not to exceed 1,500 a month.
15 times.
15?
Yeah. Because I mean, I think Jerry's a bargain, right? Which is why not showing that.
Yeah.
I think so, not by much, but I didn't know what to expect by it.
But everyone we interviewed clearly understands the cost is not to exceed $1,500 a month.
Right.
Right. So 60 hours is basically what they can work. But the company, the corporation, Barcom, did indicate that some of the stuff that we might need them to do would require a project. What?
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of add-on.
And then there's even a cost for them to come and remove all their software from our systems. Yeah.
We're not figuring for that. What's your recommendation? Last job.
The Felipe would be the one, if we're comfortable with him only being by phone 8 to 3, but he seems to have more experience in this. He has a team that he works with that can be the backup. And he'd be able to dedicate more time to us once he gets this project going that he's working right now. But he's trying to expand into municipalities. Now that he understands some of the requirements, I mean, he did make a comment that, yeah, some of our cameras need to be replaced for various reasons. And so I think the mayor's shown him a few things already.
You like him, Mayor?
I do. I think he, I didn't interview the other guys, so whether I like him or not, I think it's sort of irrelevant. Because I didn't meet with anybody else, but I do believe he provides the best opportunity to fall within budget, to be reachable, similar to Jerry, and not be hit with additional add-ons every single time we call him. Very personable guy. I was explaining kind of the needs for the chief, and he was providing me solutions or rough solutions, right? Because I'm not an IT person. He was giving me some good stuff to take back and questions to ask to help make the decision for, you know, the things that the chief was asking for.
Dr. Johnson.
So I've had to narrow the two down. It'd be Felipe or Barcom. The only issue with Barcom is they do have the additional fees, right? And they have to set up more software. Felipe, the problem we can run with him is he's only available through phone, right? 8 to 3, and then 3 to 5. So if we needed him immediately, he won't be available.
Well, he'll be available after 5 too, but
yes,
most of the employees are only here from 3 to 5.
That's you raise your contact.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, but he's also gonna be more reachable than Jerry right now. And we won't spend the $1,500 if we don't call him or he's not reachable.
Right. I think the only issue with Barcom is, I think it's Barcom. His experience.
Well, no, Barcom, that's the company. So they had, I want to say 28 people that CJIS certified. If we needed to, they could work on our vehicle. Yeah.
Or we can wait. We'll figure out.
We'll keep trying to call Jerry for all that.
Speak to that other agenda item. Does this fall within the
So
previous?
what's the impact of not having someone to replace Jerry?
Could be detrimental.
Is this something we need real quick?
We do not.
Well, for CJIS reasons, we just got
We
another
do.
notification this week.
Yeah, Mayor, I think,
No, there's a police department issue that needs to be resolved.
yeah, so we're not in compliance with the CJIS requirements. We're still receiving emails from them to check the status of where we're at. We
And he's
really,
only come up with a plan and propose various options. in the
We have $6,000 left in that IT budget, so. If it's something, I mean, my whole purpose and jump ahead, they're talking about the other items that I have on here, but and my focus is on the police department, and that's the agenda items that I have that follow this. But if the money is there and something that the department needs, and this is gonna
it's gonna put us in compliance, yes, sir.
then I would move that we go. Yeah. These are the issues that can be taken care of after 3 o'clock. Is he gonna work weekends? This guy will work. So his $25 an hour, doesn't matter if it falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it's $25 an hour.
I'm willing to come in on the weekends if that's what it takes to get us into compliance, because that's not
And he's
even an
willing to
issue.
call the clerk to take care of the police department, which is my concern, because they are not CJIS compliant, and Jerry's is not here to help.
Correct. Well, I was, big guy, I think this. They'll be able to get the bill. So, I mean, offer the position to,
We need a contract, be the contractor, so we would have to
right,
move.
position as contractor, $5 an hour, instruct the city administrator to negotiate the contract.
I'll
Bring
second
it
that.
back to next meeting.
Okay, so I do have a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from our Mayor Pro Tem to instruct the city administrator to negotiate a contract of $25 per hour for Felipe Hernandez. And to bring back the contract at the next regularly scheduled meeting, all right?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on that motion? Not all those.
Well, and the contract needs to also specify not to exceed $1,500 a month,
$15,000 net, or what is that? Annual?
whatever the annual cost is.
1,500.
Just make sure it includes a cap. So the contract has a cap, so that we know what to budget for. Whatever that might be. Please, can you modify your motion to include?
Yeah, within that contract, mentioned the, contract might exceed a cost of $1,500 per month.
I'll second that.
So the amended motion by Alderman Tremblay and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem is to instruct the city attorney to negotiate a contract. City administrator, sorry. I saw CA. City administrator, to negotiate a contract of $25 with the not to exceed $1,500 a month. Any questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, discussion of, well, let's jump.
I recommend we just skip G, go ahead and read it, and then I'll.
So discussing a possible action on ordinance establishing the position of office manager and advertising to fill the position for purpose of recruitment and potential future appointments. For discussion.
I recommend we, take no action.
Will accept your rep. Moving on to agenda item H, discuss and take possible action on implementing a freeze on all municipal department budgets for the remainder of the fiscal year. Alderman Tremblay, Alderman Miller.
And again, the purpose of this is to, reallocate any funds that are remaining, although I know the budget is not balanced at this point, but I did come up with, a little over $47,000 that was still, sitting in people's budgets, not to include the police department. But so we just took it, we're gonna take some of this guy, you take this, the IT guy and so that, and drop down, I can get him in for first. I doubt that's gonna happen, but it could. Yeah, my whole purpose is looking at the issues that the police department has with their vehicles, with any of their IT equipment. That is, money being allocated to the police department. For their readiness, I mean, seems like it's a serious issue at this point, their vehicles. I know we can't afford to go and buy a vehicle. I think the chiefs probably has looked into some lease programs. And even at that, it would take $40,000 to get a leased vehicle up and operational and equipped. Looking at another 20,000, I looked at some of your stuff and that $23,000 annual payment for the vehicle, and then another 20.
It's 30,000 to equip it. 29,
23, something like that.
And she may be on, Mr. T, on
So are we
online.
talking about reallocating the budget, or are we talking about freezing all department expenditures right now? What is,
Well,
what are
first
you
and
trying to
and
do?
if you looked at some of the
Yeah, they down at the very.
the administrator's emails he sent along with the budget, the wording on the agenda items was edited. The administrator.
I know, but we have to discuss what's actually been published.
The whole purpose is to take those dollars and reallocate to the police
Okay.
department.
But the item that's actually on our agenda says to
Here's the freeze, yeah.
and understand that that's his fault, but because it's published, we have to go with what's on there. So, my only concern with freezing all expenditures is there are some mandatory, and I have no issues with limiting a lot of the spending we're doing, but I think there are some mandatory expenditures that will need to be done between now and the end of the fiscal year. So I think maybe instead of freezing all, mandate that any expenditures need to be approved by the city administrator or the mayor before they can be made. Instead of freezing everything. And then maybe on the next agenda, we can get the item to discuss exactly what you want. Would that get after what you want to do?
Right, again, and if it was balanced out, if all the shortcomings were, we have people that have spent 100% of their budget, some have spent, 100, some have gone way over. So I realize that some of those dollars are gonna have to be reallocated to cover those. So,
Once we get an accurate accounting, the mayor's gonna have the need to adjust the budget. We can definitely talk about that.
I'll bring this item back to next meeting.
But I'm fine with making a motion to require, not freeze it, but freeze all spending unless it's approved. If you modify that to include that there's an option to get it approved by either the city administrator or the mayor, one or both of them, then I'm still comfortable stopping anybody from spending extra money until you bring the next item back in a couple weeks. Does that get after what you want?
I have two questions. The term of this, is this fiscal year, or does it continue past this fiscal year?
No, once we get the new budget, then it's a whole new ballgame.
Okay.
It's just for the remainder of this fiscal year.
Okay, and previous commitments to spend money are, they're not,
Well, if they're committed,
yeah,
I think that's what the mayor pro tem was getting at.
Right.
So,
If we
yeah,
just freeze all spending unless it's approved, will that get after what
be
you want,
approved by the city manager because the mayor's not here.
city administrator?
So I'll move that we freeze all departmental budgets and that any expenses between now and the end of the fiscal year be approved by the city manager, city administrator.
I second that.
All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to freeze all budgets on all municipal departments unless approved by the city administrator for this fiscal year. Questions? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Along. Discuss and take possible action on implementing a citywide hiring freeze on all vacant for the remainder of the fiscal year.
So
Again, this was,
what do we have out there?
well,
Police officer.
public works director now for
Nothing's out there unless we approve it. Which ones have we approved that you're trying to freeze hiring right now?
The only one we've approved, I believe, is
Lieutenant Patrolman
The third public.
and the third public works person.
Yeah.
So, and we're still advertising city administrator, so I recommend that we, instead of freezing, because basically no one's hired unless we approve it. Instead, we just pool those two ads that we have, one for city administrator and one for the public works employee.
Bowen.
And then they're not being advertised. We're no longer doing interviews. Is there something else that we're interviewing? Because that allows us to still continue to seek the police.
Yeah, it's just the third public works. And it's just the, what was the other one that you said?
We're trying to hire a
City
city administrator.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, purpose is the money that this will free up, is that gonna help to balance out this budget for the? Because I just see all these numbers and I look at.
Priscilla's salary too.
So
yeah,
we would have to discuss that one later.
And you have the police salaries that's still in their budget. Yeah. So I'm just curious as to what carryover is gonna be. You throw out 100,000.
Yeah.
Number.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be substantially higher.
And he owes us that, but would you be comfortable instead of doing a hiring freeze, instead pool the ads and stop all hiring efforts towards those two specific positions that we have advertised?
I think we could still advertise for them, we just wouldn't fill them until after the budgets.
Not that those two positions exist on the voter approved budget as the way the mayor is listed it. So I would recommend that instead of trying to do a hiring freeze in general, that we, and that will allow us to come back next time. And if the mayor has found the money in the budget, as he moves stuff around and balances it out, that we can also authorize go hire another patrolman, go
Only
hire
a
this.
month and a half, right?
It is only a month and a half, but we're gonna have a better budget in 2 weeks. But right now, we're advertising for 4 positions. And of those, I think you still want to keep 2 of them out there. Your intent is not hiring freeze. Your intent is to stop us from hiring those other 2.
The public works employee.
The public works employee and the city administrator.
I would only disagree with the public works employee because in light of the situation that we're at.
Oh, because we lost the director?
Right.
So you'd rather just have 2? Oh, that's true. 2 public works employees, but who would they report to?
City administrator.
We're not gonna find anybody in a month and a half anyway. Slow
Maybe.
as we move.
So, I mean, what's gonna help you get after what you're trying to do with this motion, with this agenda item?
Well, I'll revert that back over to the mayor. What kind of money does he need? He's gotta have an idea of the shortfalls. I mean, it's much more than 47,000 that I picked out of the overages, let's say the under numbers. But if you go in and look at the 14%, over 30%, over 74%.
But do you want to issue a hiring freeze, which is what this agenda item is, which would stop the chief from continuing to solicit for or advertise for a lieutenant and a patrolman? Because that's what a hiring freeze would do right now.
Is your budget gonna support a lieutenant?
The 3.5% budget, that you're asking? Right now it supports a lieutenant. But it doesn't support that extra patrolman.
And we can always wait and see what the new budget looks like that he brings to us in 2 weeks. And we just don't have to hire anyone. Because no one is hired for this town without our approval. And it allows the police department to still continue to at least look.
Yeah, so I would recommend that there not be a hiring freeze, right? Because it still has to come to us for.
Nobody's getting hired unless we approve it. And they'll give the mayor time to look at these numbers and bring us back what we can really afford to hire or not hire. Because we are the hiring freeze.
All right, I'll pull it back.
No action. We've already done J. Move on to agenda item K. Discussing a possible action by record vote on order for adopting the levy of ad valorem taxes for 2026 for use of floating nickel revenue of the city of San Diego, Texas, for the fiscal year 2027 between October 1st, 2026 and ending September 30th, 2027, not to exceed 0.568357 on each $100 valuation of property, provided for apportioning each levy for specific postage, proving when taxes shall become due and shall be delinquent if not paid, providing for salability clause and providing for an effect.
And we can't vote on this one since we didn't pass the budget, right? So no action.
So no action.
But state that, oh, it's been postponed, didn't we already vote to postpone this?
27.
Yeah, because this one's been postponed till
And
to the next meeting.
And just possibility, it may be the September 10th meeting, but you can announce at the following meeting if that, if you need to pre-file a budget.
Motion. Okay.
No, did we already do that motion?
That was already.
get them doing this, if they in bill
Okay.
27.
Well, L wouldn't come back, it's not, you will go beyond the deadline. The L was starting election for tax rate.
Yeah, so L is no longer necessary.
No L.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already did.
Yeah.
And yep. Discuss and take possible action, agenda item 8 discuss and take possible action on the resolution of any meeting schedule, including cancellation of the regular meetings of September 24th, 2026, November 26th, 2026, and December 24th, 2026, and call a special meeting on October 1st, 2026. So just right off the bat, I don't have to, I will be in town now for the September 24th, 2026, because my Germany travel got.
And I could have run it remotely. The concern was whether or not Alderwoman Walker would be able to make it, and we have the three people present here.
No, you won't wait for me?
I mean, fourth, I could make, I'd see October 1st one.
Okay.
The normal meetings, I'll skip. Meetings.
Yeah, I don't think we need the October 1st. We're gonna keep doing the 24th.
Yeah.
The concern was whether or not we'd have three people here in person, because I have a work trip to Maryland that week.
Yeah, and then kind of your schedule's a little inconsistent, so we're like, well, let's just cancel that one, but if I'm gonna be here, I think the majority of us will be here, you'll be on the phone, I think we can.
Everything goes smoothly, I should be.
Yeah, we just need three of the council members here in person in order to hold the meeting.
Just a note, if it happens to be a tax rate gets delayed to that meeting, then it needs to be. Or at any meeting, even if it's a regularly scheduled meeting. Reductions.
Hopefully we can get the tax rate before then.
Okay. So then,
Otherwise, we need everybody here.
so I think at the end of the day, we don't need the October 1st, 2026, we don't need the September 24th, 2026. We'll just go with the November and December holiday.
Yeah, I move that we draft we have the city attorney draft a resolution to cancel the resolution. It's not in my folder. Can I say that? Because I'm not seeing it in my folder here. All right. So I would move to adopt, do we have the resolution number 2026 to be numbered later, a resolution of the city council of the city of San Diego, Texas, canceling November 26, 2026 and December 24th, 2026 regular city council meeting and calling it. That's it. And to modify section 1 to reflect to strike September 24th, 2026, and then to strike section 2 completely and renumber everything after that.
Thank you.
We cancel the October one. What is
No,
that for?
it was just gonna be an extra one since we canceled the 26th.
All right, I got a motion by the mayor pro tem and a second from Alderman McNeil to adopt a resolution to be dated to be labeled at a later date. A resolution of the city council of the city of San Diego, Texas, canceling the November 26, 2026 and December 24th, 2026 regular city council meetings, and to strike from section 1, September 24th, 2026, and in section 2 to strike it all together. And to
renumber everything.
renumber everything after that. That is a motion. Anybody have any questions? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. That it? So what, oh, yeah, people, yeah, okay. All right, so then last item, discuss and take possible action on renaming city's public works department to the city maintenance department, including any conforming amendments to the city's ordinance, organizational chart, and related administrative materials.
We have to change the ordinance too, right? Like,
There's a couple of ordinance, or I think it's just the ordinance,
the public works director position, yeah.
So this kind of came up because as we were interviewing for city administrators, it was called out that we don't have gas, we don't have water, we don't have light. We don't provide trash services, and that the title of city, public works is usually allocated for those types of departments. And that maybe city maintenance would be better suited.
Everyone we interviewed saying, John, oh, so you don't really have a public work, do city maintenance. So the folks looking at our website and applying, for being misled, and seeing the term public work.
What was it? Do you have any questions?
Move to rename the boards to city maintenance.
Second. So I do have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman Clifford to rename the Public Works Departments to City Maintenance Department. For any questions on this item?
how do y'all want to go about then renaming and making all the ordinances? Do you want them to this approved, those changes to the ordinance, or all the ordinances come back? Where public works.
Can we just do a single ordinance that says any ordinance referring to public works director or public works is now replaced with city maintenance? And then change the public works director ordinance. I mean, I think that's the only one that really needs to be fully replaced. Yeah.
All right, so then.
And then I'll take a look as well at the personnel policy and go back to the same website where I got the pay scale. Should we decide in the future to advertise for public works director? With it then being the city maintenance, so I will look to replace public works director pay scale with the city maintenance.
Okay. I do have a motion, I do have a second.
I think John has all.
Can we look up cable, do we have an algo, or will we on our new website? Or do you,
That's not,
with everything combined, so what you can just look up keyword and it'll pull it up
No.
all the times that it's in the,
no, we don't, that's codification.
yeah,
No, we don't have codification on our new website.
that's codification. I made that.
I do have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, that motion carries. 10:30, what figure?
10:30?
Move to adjourn at 10:30. All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, so that's why we've been trying to get the ordinances cleaned up so we can do the codification, because the codification is cost of $50,000, but the mayor's pull that from the
Yeah, I know, I
budget.
tried.
Look, I'm just saying, you follow up public works in your search, everywhere it comes up,